We're ready? Okay. Welcome back. It's 6:08 p.m. and I am reconvening for the public meeting. Let me remind the audience that we are reconvening in person. However, Trustee Dean Hodges is attending the meeting remotely and at the Portland Air National Guard Base, 6801 Northeast Cornfoot Road in Portland, Oregon. For remote viewing access, links are provided electronically on the meeting agenda. Okay. Right, so roll call, please.
Trustee Hodges is here remotely. Trustee Fox?
Present.
Thank you. Trustee Fox?
Present.
Trustee Young?
Present.
Vice President Flores?
Present.
And President Amboy?
Present.
And we have a quorum.
Thank you. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moving to item 5C, the reports of action taken in closed session. Recommendation for student discipline. The board received information on student discipline matters regarding 2026-STP-04. We have a motion by Trustee Fox and a second by Trustee Young. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hodges?
Aye.
Thank you. Trustee Fox?
Aye.
Trustee Young? Trustee Young?
We need
Aye.
your vote.
Yes. Vice President Flores?
Aye.
President Amboy?
Aye.
And the motion passes 5-0.
Okay, item 3B, conference with labor negotiations. The board received information and gave direction to the staff. Item 5D, the adoption of the board agenda. Do I have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda? Trustee Fox?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda as is.
Trustee Vice President Flores?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Hodges?
Aye.
Trustee Fox?
Aye.
Trustee Young?
Aye.
Vice President Flores?
Aye.
And President Amboy.
Aye.
And the motion passes 5-0.
On item 6 is the consent calendar. Tonight's consent calendar includes items 6A through 6M. Before we have a motion, we do have 2 cards.
We do. So for item 6A, Mary Crane Morrow, and then for item 6C, Colette Lay.
Good evening, board members and superintendent. My name is Mary Crane Morrow, and I am a retired VCUSD employee that is still very active and very vested in this district. At the last meeting, I asked questions about option 2 of the amendment to the classified SERP, item 10F, specifically about what salary the 70% would be based on if an employee was bumped to a lower paying position and then took the SERP, retiring by December 2026 per option 2. The board meeting minutes on pages 8 and 9 state the motion to table the item and bring it back onto the agenda tonight was made and passed unanimously. It is not on the agenda. I've been told that it's not guaranteed to be on the agenda. My problem is that May 13th is after the April 30th deadline for employees to turn in their paperwork as listed in the amended SERP. As I asked last month, how are employees supposed to make the decision to retire under this agreement when all the details are not yet available? There's a lot of finger pointing on whose fault it is, but employees that want to retire still don't know which salary it's going to be on. Not bringing the information back to the board tonight in time for people to make this decision makes it even harder to trust Matt Chamberlain in this process. This is unfair and unacceptable. Isn't it enough that employees' lives are being disrupted with the potential layoffs and are bumping to a lower salary? They have a right to the information to make an informed decision on retirement, yet they are not being given the information needed by the deadline. Also, where is the final list of positions to be eliminated that was supposed to be given to the board in April for voting on? Matt said that back in the February or March meeting. Thank you for listening and paying attention to what is and is not being done properly. I do appreciate you, and I know it's hard work. Thank you.
Thank you. Colette?
Good evening, board members. I'm just here tonight because I'm a little concerned in regards to the travel requests for employees to travel for a conference. They have a request for 7 employees to travel to North Carolina for the UFly conference. 7 is, to me, extreme. I could see 3 possibly, the teacher leaders, and maybe Christine, but I don't see why we would need 7 people to travel for one conference. If the people are competent enough, they can bring back that information to the teachers and whoever else they needed to bring it to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Trustee Fox?
Can I ask a point of order request, please, President Amboy? Would you mind rereading what we discussed in closed session? And I know that it's a broad statement, but if the board promised to cover something tonight, it doesn't mean you hear it in open session, and you won't know what we talked about in closed session. But if we promise to do something, can you just do the vague statement again? Because I just want people to hear and to know that this board does listen.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So item 3B, conference with labor negotiators. The board received information and gave direction to the staff. Then we did have the item, we have item 5D is the adoption of the board agenda, which, so,
That's fine, thank you.
okay. Thank you. Then moving on to, again, back to item 6. Trustee Fox?
For consent.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion for agenda item 6, A through M approval.
Trustee, Trustee Young? Roll call, please.
Trustee Hodges.
Aye.
Trustee Fox.
Aye.
Trustee Young.
Aye.
Vice President Flores.
Aye.
And President Amboy.
Aye.
The motion passes 5-0.
Thank you, Board. Before we move on, I've asked Matt Chamberlain to introduce the new managers you just approved in item 6M, and we did invite them to attend.
Good evening, Board. Our first new manager for the district is Marin Trujillo Cuevas, Executive Director of Operations. Marin is a seasoned K-12 executive leader with more than 25 years of experience in public education, with deep expertise in operations, governance, family engagement, student support, communications, and cross-functional systems leadership. He currently serves as Chief of Staff at San Francisco Unified School District, where he has acted as the superintendent's senior operational deputy, helping stabilize payroll operations, advance the ERP modernization, strengthen cabinet and board governance routines, and support district-wide fiscal and operational improvement. He is a proud Vallejo resident, and he looks forward to bringing his commitment to public education home to his own community. So, we're in. Our next manager is Edwin Diaz, Assistant Director of Business Services. Edwin is an experienced public sector finance leader with over 20 years of experience in budgeting, compliance, and operational leadership within large, complex organizations. He recently served as Director of Public Education Enrichment at San Francisco Unified School District, where he oversaw $140 million in annual funding and led multi-year financial planning, reporting, and compliance efforts. Mr. Diaz has focused on strengthening internal controls, improving financial transparency, and aligning resources for to support student outcomes. He is deeply committed to public education and supporting school communities in creating stable, equitable, and high-quality learning environments for all students. Mr. Diaz. Our next manager is Joanna Turner, Assistant Director of Business Services. Joanna began her career as a project manager overseeing end-to-end ERP implementations of financial, payroll, and human resource systems. She deepened that expertise at the Contra Costa County Office of Education as the Fiscal Systems Support Manager. She led a successful rollout of the financial, payroll, and HR ERP systems across 16 school districts on time and within budget, collaborating closely with district leadership, auditors, treasurers, and state and local agencies. In 2014, Joanna joined the Oakland Unified School District as the Risk Management Department Fixed Asset and Insurance Solutions Manager, a role she held with care and dedication for over a decade. She holds a Master's of Science in Accounting from St. Mary's College of California, a Bachelor of Arts in Computer Science Information Systems, a minor in business education from Fort Lewis College, and a CBO Mentor Program certificate from the Fiscal Crisis Management Team. Joanna Turner. We're now going to switch gears to human resources. It's my pleasure to announce the Executive Director of Human Resources, Hattie Kagami. Hattie is the newly appointed Executive Director of HR, bringing over 24 years of service to the district and more than 20 years of progressive HR leadership in California, TK-12 public education. She is a strategic, results-driven leader and has expertise in HR operations, compliance, workforce planning, employee relations, credentialing, and board governance. Hattie has led key initiatives within the district to strengthen our workforce, including establishing a teacher residency program to improve recruitment and retention, securing grants through the California Commission on Teacher Credentialing to support educator and classified pathways, building partnerships with colleges and universities to expand our opportunity for qualified educators. Hattie Kagami. Our next new manager is Mara Harris, Coordinator of Human Resources. Mara is a highly accomplished and results-oriented human resources professional with over 10 years of experience in several industries, however, found her passion working in the educational environment. She holds a master's degree in human resource management. In a combination with her experience, Mara has demonstrated the ability to manage full-cycle recruiting and supporting of HR operations. She's been successful in improving recruitment timelines, coordinating high-volume hiring, supporting school sites and meeting critical staffing needs. She's a skilled individual in building collaborative relationships with employees, union partners, and leadership to promote a positive, compliant workplace. Mara Harris. It's now my pleasure to announce some of our new principals and vice principals. My first principal to announce this evening is new principal of Wardlaw Elementary, Mary Claire Godmetan Delgado. With over 20 years of experience in public education, she has served as a teacher, bilingual instructional leader, assistant principal, and human resources leader. Ms. Delgado brings deep expertise in special education, multilingual learning success, and equitable instructional systems with a strong focus on high-quality teaching and inclusive practices. She holds a master's degree from San Francisco State University in special education and the University of San Francisco in educational leadership. Committed to building strong relationships and high expectations for all students, she looks forward to partnering with the Wardlaw community to ensure every student thrives academically and socially. Ms. Delgado. Our next principal appointment is principal of Cooper Elementary, Anita Summerlin. With more than 22 years of experience in education, Anita is a results-driven instructional leader with a diverse background spanning teaching, coaching, school improvement, and executive leadership across elementary, middle, and high school settings. She has served as principal, assistant principal, instructional coach, and school improvement specialist, leading initiatives to have constantly driven measurable gains in student achievement, including 80 to 90% proficiency at the elementary level and 15 to 20% growth on the middle school MAP assessments. Her leadership is grounded in equity, data-driven decision-making, and a deep commitment to whole child outcomes informed by her early decision-making and deep commitment to whole child improvement through her career as a social worker. And I'm not sure she's here this evening. She's currently a administrator in Virginia. So she's, oh, is she here? No, she's currently in Virginia, and so she's not able to join us. She may be online. Sorry, apologies. Scared me for a second. So Anita Summerlin, principal of Cooper Elementary. Our next appointment is the vice principal of Solano Wiedemann Leadership Academy, Destiny Andrews. For over a decade, Destiny Andrews has been a champion for students in the Bay Area, working tirelessly to ensure every child feels seen, heard, and supported. Her journey is fueled by a simple but powerful belief that education is one of the most effective tools we have to create a more just and equitable world. As a first-generation college student and the daughter of Filipino immigrants, Destiny's approach is deeply personal, and she understands the resilience of our communities because she's lived in it. Destiny is absolutely thrilled to be stepping into the new role as vice principal in Vallejo. As a longtime Vallejo resident, she is grateful for the opportunity to serve in the community she cares for deeply. And it's my pleasure to announce Destiny. My final administrator announcement this evening is the new vice principal of Vallejo Charter School, Faustino Cadiz. Faustino has been named vice principal of Vallejo Charter School. A native of Vallejo, he proudly attended Wardlaw Elementary School, Springstown Middle School, and Jesse Bethel High School before continuing his education at Solano Community College, San Francisco State University, Cal State University Sacramento, and Toro University of California. He has served as a classroom teacher, youth mentor, and award-winning performing arts coach, and has held roles in VCUSD as a teacher, leader, assistant principal, and interim principal. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Cadiz. And those are our appointments for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. And one thing that I always ask all the administrators before they do join our team, just by a show of hands, are you a Giants fan? If you are, please raise your hand. Don't worry, the superintendent's a
Any
the Dodgers
Dodger
fan.
fans?
Again, welcome, and we're excited to have you all on board. I know that VCUSD is moving onward, and we're very blessed to have you all aboard. So thank you. Look forward to working with you, and again, our door is always open for you as well. Oh, Trustee Young?
I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you. Matt, you seem to have put together a dream team here. So within the dream team, we expect great things. You've come to a district that's gone through I don't know how many challenges, but for you to sign up and sign on board and put your boots to the ground, be commended. Thank you so much for joining our community. We have a very unique community, but you will get to know it. And sometime it'll be nice, sometime it won't be nice, but it is our community. So welcome. And if there's anything that any of us on this dais can do for you, just reach out through Superintendent Aurelio, and we'll put it in his hands, because I'm retired.
All right. Okay, so moving on to item 7, there are no action items. Item 8, information. Item 8 is the third quarterly report regarding the Williams Settlement uniform complaints for January 1st, 2026 through March 31st, 2026, presented by Assistant Superintendent Tabasio.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, President Amboy, Vice President Flores, Trustees Young, Fox, and Hodges, and Superintendent Aurelio. As President Amboy indicated, I am presenting the Williams Settlement Uniform Complaint Report for the period of January 1st, 2026 through March 31st, 2026. There were two complaint items for facilities conditions that have both been resolved before this report's filing. This report will go to the Solano County Office of Education directly following this meeting.
Thank you.
All right.
Any, or have any questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving to item 8B, it will be our school sky presentations. Superintendent Aurelio?
Yeah, so we're super excited to welcome 10 schools this evening for their spring showcase. And we're going to go in the order that's in the agenda items. So Grace Patterson Elementary, you're going to be up first. And if you just look at the agenda items, followed by Cave and Glen Cove and so on and so forth. So we're super excited to have you all here this evening to present.
Good evening, Board. I am the very proud principal of Grace Patterson Elementary, and this is year 4. So this is, I think, the 3rd or 4th time I've been in front of you. So you'd think it gets easier. It doesn't. So this year was a bit unique for us in that we started our transition. We lost a couple of teachers. They moved on from the district, and then we gained about 5 new. And so we are starting that new feeling to Patterson, and I think that it is moving in the direction of the positive, and I'm excited. So we have seen an increase in our enrollment to 377 students. I think it's at 380 today. 89% of those are socioeconomically disadvantaged. 34% are our multilingual learners, and 24% of our student enrollment has an IEP, be it speech, one of our mild mod classes, or our counseling enriched class, and then our RSP caseload. So we have a pretty significant caseload of our IEPs. As of March 20th, our average daily attendance, it was about 90%. It has seen a slight decline since then. I'm not sure what happened after spring break, but I'm hanging in about 89 right now. So we're working with the team to figure out what's going on and improve that. However, over the course of the last 3 years, we are seeing a decline in our chronic absenteeism. So in 23-24, we were at about 42%, and now we were at 32%. So I think the work that the team is doing is working. I am proud to say that our suspension rate is at about 1%, and I can account for those students on one hand. I know exactly who they are, and I know what's going on. So this year, we had a very intense focus on our early literacy. This is the first year we adopted UFly, and so we hit the ground running, and I have an amazing team of kinder through 2nd grade teachers who have been taking that and running with it. We were fortunate this year to have 14 days with our core coach, and so that really impacted our implementation. And then we also focused on ELD, which had been an area where we were struggling, and our structured student talk. And then we are also focusing on making sure our students are writing every day. So when you think about what Patterson is, where we're winning is in our kindergarten. As of the middle of the year assessment, we were at about 83% of our kiddos who knew letter names, letter sounds. I know from talking with my kinder team, that's much closer to that 100% goal that we had. And then when we look at our core E, which is the blending of words, can they read CVC words? We had 54% were proficient and 16% were developing. We are seeing that improving as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing that data. I've asked my teachers to finish early May because we have one more core day, and we want to really dive into that data. Our first grade fluency is a little bit lower. It's at about 62%. However, with the work that we're doing in U-Fly and Kinder, I think that next year we're going to see really amazing growth. And knowing that I get to keep my first grade team, I'm excited to see where they go next year. And then my upper grade team, they challenge our kiddos with the golden bucket. You can kind of see it in the background there. One of my kiddos is leaning on it. Mr. Corneo has the trophy around his neck. And it is a challenge that the CPOD has come up with to encourage our 4th through 6th graders to take the NWA serious. So each time we take the NWA, they measure to see which class had the most growth in each test. So one class will get the golden bucket for ELA, one will get it for math. You can see Mr. Corneo had it, I think, for math? For math, and he was not happy to give it up. The golden bucket is full of treats that the kids are motivated to win, and it depends on which round it is what's in there. But they usually get an input into what's in there, and they're very excited to get it. So much so that they asked to do a 3rd round of NWA. So they're finishing that up this week. So as of our winter round of NWA, 56% of our 4th through 6th graders met or exceeded their projected RIT for math. 59% of them met or exceeded their projected RIT in reading. So we are seeing some significant growth. Unfortunately, we are not seeing it in the yellow and green bands, but we are seeing a significant movement in the red band. So you can see in the fall, we had, we're kind of hanging in the 50% were at level 1, and then we were only at 5% at a level 4, but 24% of our students were at the 50th percentile. Now in the winter, we were at about 28%. We're meeting that 50th percentile goal, and we saw significant growth in the level 4. So we are slowly making progress. Same in math. I think we saw better gains in math, so we can attest that to Amplify and the intentionality that my teachers are with that adoption. So where do we need to grow? We saw a decline in our CASP scores from 22, 23 to 23, 24. Yeah. So I challenged my teachers this year, and I said, we've got to do something. We can't keep going backwards. So they have been very intentional. We do a win block every day where the students are grouped based on what they need. So each of my 4th through 6th grade teachers has a group. So for example, Mr. Reed is doing one of my ELD groups, Ms. Guillen has the other, Mrs. Reed, who's hanging out behind me, has my mid-levels. And so there's smaller groups so they can really intentionally focus on those kids' needs. And they have focused that around CASP instruction so that they're pulling from the Smarter Balance and using those lesson plans to guide their instruction. Another area was our LPAC. We were kind of stagnant. We haven't seen much growth. But in looking at my elevations data, we have potential for 17 students in grades 2 through 6 who have the NWA scores, and they were a 3. So with the intentionality of our 4th through 6th grade teachers and the Ms. Guillen and Mr. Reed actually did their own LPAC testing, I think we're going to see some significant growth on our LPAC scores. So I can't wait to get those. When you think about Patterson, this was the hardest slide for me. What makes Patterson unique? The thing to me that makes Patterson the most unique is the family and community involvement. When you walk on Patterson campus, you are you're part of a family. So those teachers take you in and they love on you and they will do anything and everything they possibly can to make sure you get the needs met. So that's what I think is the most unique to Patterson. We do a lot with our families. So we do our October trunk or treat. We have our winter family night. We do our winter showcase, which packs the house. We have our Black History Month showcase. The CHIP program is in, I think, year 4 with the AKA sorority, and they're providing of our snacks. We are also the only elementary campus that is walking distance to a college, and my 5th and 6th graders partner with them. So they take a field trip down to Cal Poly. They get a college tour. They got to go into the simulator and see what it's like to be on the boat. The oceanography students come in and they run an assembly with them. We have a tutor who comes and they work with small groups of students. They also buy and provide supplies for all of our kids starting day one. So 380 kids get a supply bag from Cal Poly. And so it's something that they know when they come on the first day of school, they're gonna get their little baggie. Teachers also get a supply bag from them. And so that partnership with Joellen and Cal Poly is really strong. We also have lots of student engagement opportunities. Soccer is life at Patterson. Soccer is life. So Mrs. Shaw runs a soccer tournament, and so we're coming up on our all-star soccer game, and they'll get trophies, they'll get medals. They're so excited about it. The other thing, and what the image is our balloons over Broadway. So our upper graders put on a basically Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade with the balloons, and they do it for the primary grades. And then there's some photos from our other events, so you can kind of see how packed our family events can be. And if you want to come and hang with us for a couple of fun events, we have our May 8th drop into testing egg drop and pep rally. So that's going to kick off our CASP testing. May 27th, we're doing our first multicultural night open house, and it's going to be our summer reading kickoff. June 5th, we'll have our lunch on the lawn, and then our promotion is June 10th. Any questions?
Vice President Flores?
I want to thank you for that presentation, and thank you always for inviting me to the events. Last winter event, it was a real fun one. There was a song that I was sitting there, leaving there, kind of humming to myself, and it's just great to see it, especially once the little kids come out, the young ones. Just it brings me back to when my kids were there. But just a couple things in the presentation that I wanted to highlight that just stood out to me. Your chronic absenteeism trend, looking at that, I was really impressed with that, and just wondering, has there been anything identified that you can say, this specific thing is what's helping, or these things, and we're kind of putting more energy into that, or has it just been a combination of things, or what do you think has been?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think once we get those strong relationships with the kiddos, then we can bring them in, and they know that they have Ms. Rebecca, who's our mental health supervisor. She's going to come and she's going to greet them at the door if that's what they need. The other thing we often have is transportation is an issue, and so we work with the families to try and see, well, is there somebody who lives nearby, and we'll work with them around that. For some of them, we have a significant number who are living in hotels this year. That's a bigger problem than I've ever seen. And so working with different community partners to have gift cards for groceries, or we have Miss Pat from Incredible Blessings who brings groceries about twice a month. And so those connections are helping too, because they know that Ms. Martinez is going to do anything she can do to meet that whole child.
Wow, it's amazing. Then in regards to the IEPs, students' IEPs, are you feeling that the assessments are being done, as needed, and helping them transition from that in a way that's helpful for them?
So this year was unique because we added 2 SDC classes. So last year we had a TKK mild mod class, and then we had my counseling enriched class. This year we had the full spectrum of TK through 5th grade in the mild mod. And so I would say that my team does work really diligently to make sure the kids are getting the services they need. I don't feel that Patterson is one to assess a kid who doesn't actually need it. And so if we're looking at them and we're seeing signs of struggle, that they're going to get an assessment. And as soon as we can move them back from services, we're going to.
Okay, perfect. Just a couple other things. Looking at slide 7, if I'm reading the data correct, one of the things that impressed me was the percentages, in both ELA and math, from winter to because a few of them, if you look in the ELA, the students, go from, they gained 1 whole point in level 4, you know, that's pretty impressive, you know, and then in math, it's even more, so it's 3% more. So it's not like it was this progression of, they went from a 1 to a 2, or it's, to make a big jump like that is real impressive. So any insight into that, or is it just something you've been still kind of looking into, or?
All I can say is it's the dedication to my teachers and the hard work that they put in.
Awesome. Then the last thing I just want to mention, because I saw that came up with the soccer tournament at lunchtime. That is great because I am much older than a 4th through 6th grader now. And in middle school, we would have during recess, during lunchtime, we'd have our intramural kickball tournaments. And as you can see, to this day, I still remember it. And I ran into a friend 20-plus years later, and at the time, he introduced himself, and you know, I didn't recognize him, but he's like, oh yeah, look, there's Carlos, a kickball champion. It's just like, so we remember those kind of things. So it's real awesome that you provide that for the students. So, you know, just thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Martinez. Just so principals know, we've designated schools for each of the trustees up here, so you're only going to get questions from one trustee to help expedite the evening. So thank you, Trustee Flores, for that. Cave Language Academy.
Good evening. It was really sorry, I have a head cold, so I'm a little bit, I sound maybe a little odd, but I promise I'm here, full heart. So I loved following Patterson because I was a teacher there for 10 years. So it was my heart there. That's how I started here in Vallejo. And I really have to say they do a wonderful job of being a community school that does embrace all of their students, and I loved being there. So I wanted to welcome you to our school. We're the first Spanish-English dual immersion public school in Vallejo, and I'm proud to say that we're a public school. Most are charter schools, and so this allows us, and 2011, I was the founder, and remember trying to get people to sign on at the fair at every single preschool, and now I'm proud to say that they're knocking on our door to come in. So I think that that's a wonderful thing, and we were founded with grassroots and a lot of support, so we thank you. Our mission and vision, of course, is what works best is that community feel that I had at Patterson and that I had growing up in San Francisco in a very multicultural community just like this one. So we want to offer students a welcoming school community that provides them the opportunity to excel in future academic pursuits, and we know that multilingualism is an asset. And we want to build on that, and that's what dual immersions try to do, so that students are not only bilingual, but as well biliterate and with a multicultural perspective. So that's what's really important, and our school has had that as a vision. And I'm not sure, so there we go. So our little school that could, and one thing people always say, started out with 4 classrooms, and now we have 19. So we started out with just TK first, and now we're TK through 8th grade. So it's ever growing. And our student population now is 527 students with a 78.6% SES. One of the key components for our success at CAVE is attendance. An immersion is only possible if students are present, especially as a dual immersion. We are slowly recovering from pre to post-pandemic numbers, and our chronic absenteeism is down to 12.7 this year. Prior to the pandemic, it was around 9%. We kept an average of that. And because that is something that we drill since day one, because there's oftentimes we say, what is an immersion? Well, students are in a 90% Spanish-speaking environment, TK through 1st grade, and the teacher as well as the students are part of that immersion. Our lottery system is strategically implemented to have 50% Spanish speakers and 50% English speakers. I was a bilingual teacher in San Jose, but unfortunately that was just bilingual. That means I was a lot of the times the only English model for a school of 95% Spanish speakers, which does not function. And so the immersion comes as well as with the students themselves who help negotiate that meaning, so that the teachers also can facilitate but stay in Spanish mode. So the secret is that kids aren't supposed to know that the teachers speak English, and they start knowing the jig is up in about second grade. But that's that immersion part. So the kids think they're translating for the teacher. So that is part of it. Attendance, we've kept, thankfully, at around 94, 95%. And that is our secret sauce. Because we all know what percentage of success is measured on is showing up, right? 90% of success is showing up. So that is where we are, and we're proud to say that we have, for the third year in a row, our scores for CASP have beat the state, as well as beat the local dual immersions in Napa and in Fairfield. So apples to apples, and everyone here. So what does that look like? That means our distance from standard is at just negative 3.1. And the states is at 8.1. They're gaining on us, so it's kind of scaring me a little bit, but we're getting there. And math is 31.5, and the state is at 42.4. So really proud of that, and that's really a community effort. Our ELA, 70.8% of students improved, because it's not just about those that meet or exceed. It's all levels that are important. So growth needs to be at all levels. And 63% of our students improved in math as well. And our English learners, 49% are making progress. An important part of that is dual immersions oftentimes aren't always the best for your language learners. And so we want to make sure that all benefit from the use of both sides of the brain. They said if you learn a second language at a younger age, it helps the brain be more malleable to learn math and sciences. So this really supports all the research behind the programs. So really proud of all it starts with the community, the parents, the staff, the students, and of course our teachers. And our focus area, what we try to do is spend most of our money on a vibrant culture of teaching and learning, and that means that our monies go to human resources as opposed to a lot of things. So our strategic professional learning opportunities as a dual immersion program, we're constantly having to look at what is good for language learners, because all our students are language learners. The English are learning Spanish, the Spanish are learning English, and how can we support both? Our goal is TK through second, kids are reading at grade level in Spanish, then third through fifth, they'll be reading at grade level in English. And usually by second, if they're at grade level in one language, they'll be at grade level in the second. We focus teacher collaboration with data analysis and goal setting. Data, that's how we do it. I mean, they're taking fluency tests in English and in Spanish. So we're making sure that we're not robbing Peter to pay Paul, and that the child is being able to flourish in both. And I have a dynamic site leadership team. I really believe in shared leadership, meeting with them constantly about what's working and what's not working, because I feel that students feel successful in part because their teachers feel successful, and also the community feels a part. So it's very important for us, and we foster community engagement through an active PTA, ELAC, SSC. In our community events, our teachers, they volunteer to chair all the committees for all our events. And so they build in that success, and they're always there to help make sure that we have enough engagement. And that's part of our community appeal. Academic excellence, data-driven, our teachers progress monitor students by name, not just percentage, so they know which kids are nearly met, which kids are not meeting standards, which kids, because we also need to keep our kids challenged. So I'm never forgetting those kids at the higher levels that may be bored or need the additional challenge as well. And student engagement and instructional best practices, PBIS and systems and enrichment. We make sure that students, when I first started, all our after-school programs were volunteer-run. So we would have parents teach whatever it is they were good at. Now we have a wonderful expanded program that does a great job in bringing some of that enrichment. And it's organized for us, but it's continued on a pay base, which is wonderful. As well, our wins are redesignation level. When you do a dual immersion correctly, it's a win-win for all language learners, and it's a language maintenance. So it allows students to add a second language instead of, we call it an additive program, instead of a subtractive, which means you're adding a second language without losing your primary one. And our multi-tier support system, student contacts, our mental health support provider has seen over 545 kids in her wellness room. We have had one-on-one and group counseling for 73 students. Our Tier 2 supports, which is where we try to catch kids prior to second grade, that early intervention is very important. So I do read all over 500 report cards and take notes on all of them to make sure that no child is left without Tier 2 supports. So that's 102 after-school interventions. Our TK and kinders work on their non-prep time to support 29 students. And our bilingual tutor supports 47 students, and Hey Tutors support 101. And so all of those are tracked and monitored for success, and kids do not stay. Those are flexible groupings. So when they are able to succeed, then they level out. Areas for growth, there always are areas for growth. Math, because some of the dual immersions and the state are crouching in on my gains, so we want to reduce that by 5 points. English learner growth, those students for math and ELA, we want to increase percentages at all areas, especially those exceeding and meeting standards. Students are also really aware of where they are. And that's what we try to do, because a student will grow best if they feel successful and not necessarily wanting that A, but wanting to just grow wherever they are. And program highlights. Our program highlight is our biliteracy, our multiculturalism and biliteracy. We're considered, we have about 80% Hispanic students, but only about 30% are language learners. What dual immersions oftentimes happen is that they become heritage maintenance schools, and so that means 60% of them are trying to recapture a language they may have lost in order to connect to family. And so a lot of the dual immersions in San Francisco are Mandarin or Cantonese in order to recapture the language. And so this is offered a family like this one, which is a family here who the children proudly can talk now with their grandparents and communicate and share. And it's a multicultural family, and that's what we hope to continue to offer all of our students. Thank you. I'm very, very proud of my community and my school and what it has done to my city of Vallejo. So thank you.
Trustee Fox?
Wow. As a teacher, it's just, I'm so amazed in everything. But I think, like you said, you have such good things in place, especially the 95% attendance rate. Like you said, if they're there, they're going to learn. They're not going to have the big gaps in their learning. Your CAS scores were wonderful. They went up in every area. You've had gains in each area. That's amazing. That's awesome that you're meeting your goals. I'm very proud of all your staff for that. The data that you go through as a staff, the progress monitoring of each student, I'm kind of blown away that you read 500 report cards three times a year.
And I take notes on every single kid.
Ruben Aurelio used to do that too, when he was a principal. He used to read every report card. I'm like, that's a lot. Anyways, thank you for doing that. The progress monitoring, I think, like what you said, students know where they are. It empowers a student to know, okay, I'm at 78% reading comprehension. I need to be at least 80 to be proficient. And then I want to get to higher than that. But right here's where I am, here's where I need to be. So they have the visual, they have the self-knowledge to move their own and be in charge of their own learning. Kind of, it sounds like the Leader in Me program that we have at other schools. What else?
We do Leader in Me as well.
So that is how they're tracking their own learning.
Not specifically in that, through Leader in Me, but that is part of what they're learning. But it's not that, as a dual immersion, we're a dual immersion school that uses Leader in Me. We're not a Leader in Me school.
Got it. You use the concepts, but not, I got it. Okay. Everything was just so powerful. The redesignation rate of 27.5, because we know if students aren't reclassified, that just stays with them for so long. So to have such a high rate of that is going to promote success as they leave you to go on whatever they choose after. What about, I wanted to ask for math, because in math, the word problems, like for me, my EL learners or any language, the math problems that have all the word problems that they have to find out, first I do this step, then I do this, and I have to understand this language to be able to get to even what are they asking me. How does that work at your school for the staff to work on the word problems? Because students know computation, but how do they address the language with?
You must have had like a bug in my office today. That's really weird, because my leadership team was meeting today, looking at our SIPSA goals and looking at everything, and we were like, okay, math is our goal. And they're in the kindergarten, where a K1 teacher was like, well, the word problems, for language learners are a challenge, because some of the curriculum for us is just literally translated. So a lot of, if you can say fun as a monosyllabic word, turns into divertido, and so if things are just, but if any language learner, I remember being a first grade teacher as an English only teacher, word problems have to be scaffolded. Yes. And increasingly when our programs are majority word problem based and vocabulary based, kids may or may not feel successful in math until they learn the language. So I really believe that we have to look into doing a balanced program that allows them to also get that number sense. And because sometimes you have to leave out, tell them, oh, if it's a name, don't worry about it. Because especially in first grade, it becomes very heavy. So you're absolutely right. That is what our challenge is going to be. Next year is making sure that load of word problems are lessened or scaffolded or helped, and not the key vocabulary, because that's important, but they were talking about a word, betabel, or how you say beets in Spanish, and it became a horrific word that was not even betabel. So it is important. I think all language, that accessibility to math through word problems before they read or are proficient takes a lot of work from teachers to be able to make it accessible and for children to feel successful, because I think that's where kids learn, when they feel successful. And so we have to find those areas. So yes, that is one of the challenges. When I presented it to my teachers, math, they instantly said what you just said.
They know the computation, but then to use that, and like you said, scaffold it within a word problem, that's where the breakdowns happen. So to be able to get through that for any school at any grade level, that seems to be challenges. But I think the thinking classrooms really help a lot with the math and helping with that. I'm just amazed. You're doing awesome. We can't wait to hear more from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Board.
Next, we have Principal Daniels with Glen Cove.
All right. Good evening, Superintendent Aurelio, Board President Amboy, governing board members, and members of the audience. I am Ken Zabaro Daniels, Glen Cove's principal, and I'm excited to present to all of you the amazing things that are happening at Glen Cove Elementary. Today's presentation will be a brief overview of our students, our current data, our focus areas, and some highlights of our progress this year. At Glen Cove, we serve approximately 470 students from transitional kindergarten through 5th grade, including 5 special day classes. Our school culture is grounded in PACS and restorative justice practices, which help us build a positive and inclusive environment. We also empower student voice through our Hawk student leadership team. Our current average daily attendance is 92.68%, and we're continue to work on improving that through targeted efforts. Our dedicated student-centered staff are committed to ensuring every Hawk is supported in reaching their full potential. While our CAPS data shows areas where we're still growing, it has provided us with clear direction and purpose. We're using this data to reflect on our instructional practices to strengthen support for our students, particularly in literacy and math. This year, we've been intentional about aligning our strategies, implementing targeted interventions, and building consistency across classrooms. In addition, the recently added California Dashboard growth metrics show encouraging progress. 77% of our Hawks improved in their ELA scores from prior year. 70% improved in their math scores from prior year. These gains demonstrate that our efforts are making a positive impact, that our students are moving in the right direction. We are seeing this as an opportunity to continue refining our work and ensuring that all students are making meaningful progress towards meeting standard. Our 2 academic focus areas are literacy and math. In literacy, we are in year 4 of implementing UFLY, the University of Florida Literacy Institute Foundations program in grades K through 2, to strengthen early reading skills. UFLY provides students with systematic and explicit foundational reading instructions in phonics, decoding, and word recognition. We also provide targeted small group intervention and emphasize writing strategies such as RACE, which is restate, answer, cite evidence, and explain, to help students organize written responses using evidence from the text. In addition, we incorporate structured student talk to strengthen comprehension and communication skills. In math, we emphasize structured student discourse and building critical thinking skills to deepen understanding. Students are encouraged to explain their thinking, justify their strategies, and engage in meaningful discussions with peers to strengthen conceptual understanding. We are also using data from classroom assessments to identify learning gaps and provide targeted support so that all students can build confidence and make progress towards grade level standards. School culture and climate remain a top priority. We are in year 5 of implementing PACS, a school-wide social-emotional learning and behavior support program that helps create a safe, positive, and cooperative classroom environments. PACS teaches students self-regulation, teamwork, and positive behavior strategies, while we continue to use restorative justice practices to build relationships, repair harm, and strengthen our school community. We also have mental health supports, including a wellness center and a mindfulness practices. We partner with the Mindful Life Project, who provides both whole class mindfulness lessons and small group support. To address attendance, we promote several attendance awareness campaigns that include student recognition, classroom incentives, and leadership opportunities. Just a side note, Glen Cove won the district's March Madness attendance campaign for the 3rd year in a row. Thank you. One of our biggest successes this past year is in our growth in English learner progress. We've exceeded district growth in students making progress towards English proficiency with a 7.2 increase. Even more notable, our percentage of students achieving English proficiency more than doubled, growing by 10.1%. This reflects the impact of our focused instructional strategies and support for English learners. These gains demonstrate that the intentional efforts to provide targeted language development and differentiated supports are helping students build the skills needed for academic success. Our staff have worked collaboratively to implement effective strategies that strengthen both language acquisition and access to grade level content. While we are proud of this progress, we remain committed to continuing this momentum and ensuring that every English learner is supported on the path to proficiency. So one key area of growth is strengthening our designated English language development instruction. We are focusing on maximizing daily ELD time, using a weekly planning guide, and ensuring alignment across classrooms. We're also supporting teachers through professional learning, collaboration, peer observations, and coaching to improve instructional consistency and effectiveness. By strengthening these systems, we are building a more intentional and cohesive approach to language development for our English learners. This work is helping teachers deliver more targeted instruction that supports both language acquisition and academic achievement. As we continue to refine our practices, our goal is to ensure that every English learner receives the high-quality instruction and support needed to make strong progress towards proficiency. To support our school climate, we implement several core programs. These include the PACS Good Behavior Game, Kimochis for Social Emotional Learning, Restorative Practices, and the Mindful Life Project. We also prioritize student leadership, family engagement, and regular student recognition to build a strong, connected school community. These efforts help create a safe and supportive environment where students feel valued, connected, and ready to learn. By intentionally building positive relationships and teaching social-emotional skills, we are strengthening our school culture and fostering a sense of belonging for all students. In closing, Glen Cove is focused on strengthening academic outcomes while continuing to build a positive and supportive school environment. We are proud of our growth, especially with our English learners, and remain committed to the continuous improvement. Thank you for your time and support.
My turn again. Great job with your attendance, the 92.68, and that you won the March Madness. Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep going with that rate.
Yes.
It's awesome. I wanted to ask, it was a few years ago, the state, Tony Thurmond came down and gave a reading award for reading improvement at your school.
Correct.
How is that continuing, or how is that going, or is it continuing? When you got the award, what's the momentum from that?
No, good question. So Glen Cove had tremendous couple of years of seeing some really great growth in reading when it came to our assessments. We had a little bit of a dip this last year, and I think really looking at that, it's a combination of things. I think it's one of those things where when you have such tremendous growth, it's a matter of then kind of leveling off, like things are just going to kind of come down. And that's a sign to us that we need to look at things a little deeper, because what we were doing to make that growth is no longer now just sustaining that. We need to go deeper and look at other things that maybe need to help fill in that so we can continue to project in that right direction. So we continue as a site to really thrive and push that reading. We know that's a very big skill for our students to have, and so it's just at a point now, kind of that juncture where we need to reassess and figure out how we continue that positive progress.
Thank you, and that leads right into my next. As a third grade teacher myself, you said that the UFly, it goes to second grade.
Correct.
And knowing that you need to be proficient, what interventions or what do you have for the ones that are leaving second grade to help them with any gaps so they will be successful to get to reading level, hopefully within third?
Great question. So a couple of things. Number one, the instruction around like phonics doesn't stop there from second grade. We have a 6-step phonics program that we use for the upper grades that teachers continue to help build that for students that need that additional support in phonics. We also have a very robust intervention pull-out system. So we have Hey Tutors that's on site that helps, and that can span all the way up for the upper grades if they need that additional support. We also have our bilingual tutor who also helps out with targeting certain kids that need that support. And then our teachers do an amazing job of pulling small groups. So they do that in the classroom during the day. We have outlined specific times where a small group needs to happen, and teachers identify those kids and they provide them that additional instruction that they need as well.
That's a tier 2
Correct.
instruction that teachers are trained and utilize for that. Okay.
Yes.
that also, you said the peer coaching with EL targeted. I really was impressed with your EL numbers. Especially one of them went up to 17, I think the year before, I'm trying to remember the slide, but it made great growth up to 17%.
Yes.
With the LPAC scores, which we're all doing right now. What is your reclassification, though?
Say that, I'm sorry.
Your reclassification rate?
So we're currently at, so English proficiency for last year was at 17.5%.
That's how many, to get
Yeah,
kids
that proficient, that,
reclassified?
yeah, we were at, I want to say around that number when we reclassified last year, yeah.
Okay. And then you celebrate that and make a
Yes,
big deal out of
we
it?
do, yeah,
Would love
we-
it.
yeah.
Okay, awesome. I think that's pretty much all I think, great job. Keep going.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Glen Cove.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have Principal Kelly for Lincoln Elementary.
Good evening, Superintendent Aurelio, President Amboy, Vice President Flores, Trustee Young, and Trustee Fox. Thank you. So tonight, I'm here to showcase Lincoln Elementary. I missed the showcase earlier in the year, so I apologize for that. Lincoln is a TK through third elementary school. We currently have 106 students. We really focus on our foundational literacy skills. So we have our literacy coaches along with our reading specialists that we hired through our LCR set grant. This is our third year working with the grant. And this year we implemented our community schools program we've had 2 coordinators. This is our attendance trend, and since my principalship, we have improved our attendance, and we've met our target goals each year. Right now, we are at 88%, which has grown over the years. Our target goal stats for literacy, our projected reading proficiency for NWEA, our fall target goal was 11.12% of proficiency, and then in the winter, we jumped to 23.48%. So we saw a huge growth. Our fluency, middle of the year, we were below our target rate. So we pulled together as a team and pivoted our strategies with tier 1, 2, and 3 interventions. And we're really hopeful right now that we're going to see our targets met for end of the year. And I want to highlight that our staff is able to come together, look at data as a team, and pivot where we need to improve our data. Attendance was another focus. We had chronically absent. Our fall target was 47%, and our outcome was 32%. We did hit a dip for winter, but I think that's due to winter illnesses. And we just continue to improve with our attendance. Again, our focus areas are early literacy development. We utilize our LCR set grant. I am proud to say that this is our 3rd year working in UFly, and our teachers are implementing with fidelity on a consistent basis. In fact, a lot of teachers from the district come to observe our teachers with their UFly routines. We have our reading specialist. We utilized a portion of our equity multiplier funds to hire a retired teacher for our reading intervention. So we have an entire intervention team working downstairs in room 2. This year we implemented the WIN block, the What I Need, in the fall, and we weren't really seeing trends going in the direction we had hoped. So again, we pivoted into targeted small group instruction, and daily fluency practice. And the teachers are supported by our literacy coach. Lincoln wins are, we're seeing that movement with literacy scores. Our daily fluency practice, our reading intervention in room 2, and our tier 1 instruction from our teachers, along with our small group instruction in classes. Our community schools program, we started off the year very strong, bringing in family resources to our back to school night. We had our family resources at our literacy events. We have a food bank on Fridays where food is delivered and we hand it out to our families on Fridays for the weekends. We also have our food pantry downstairs for families who need food whenever. And then we also had donations for a garden. So our kids are growing flowers and lettuce, and they get to water that all the time. Areas of growth. We're continuing with our intensive reading intervention program to raise our fluency scores and our NWEA scores. We noticed that with implementation of UFly, our fluency wasn't where it needed to be, so we had to kick up in what we were doing with fluency. We're continuing to work with families to improve attendance through attendance awards, class competitions, and working with our attendance liaisons. Highlights throughout the year. Our big event was Light the Night with Literacy, and all the staff pulled together to create this family event from 3 to 5 in the afternoon. And we had 35 families come and participate, which is the most we'd had so far. And then every student had the opportunity to participate because we partnered with our expanded learning program, and they brought all of the students over. And they were able to go through each classroom and build a book. So every student got to complete that and bring a book home. We also had food and raffle prizes, and we combined our LCR set grant with our community schools to make it a great event. Another literacy event we hosted was our Winter Wonderland, and we purchased books for students to bring home. So they got to come downstairs and shop. They got to choose 3 to 4 books to bring home. Families came and participated in the read aloud. We had the Grinch come and an elf do a read aloud while kids enjoyed cookies and milk. That was provided by our food services. Our community schools coordinator brought resources for our families as well, and they were able to shop in our food bank. And that's Lincoln Elementary.
Thank you, Principal Kelly.
Trustee Flores?
I want to thank you for the work and the support you've been giving the community, considering, you know, what we voted on this year. I'm not gonna ignore the elephant in the room, so to speak, in regards to that. So I thank you for that, for keeping staff, parents, engaged and committed. So thank you for that. One thing I was looking at with on slide 4, just want to commend you on the jumps in the literacy, and I think that highlights something that was what I heard was a common theme throughout the presentation, was the willingness of you and your team to pivot and to adjust where you needed to, when you needed to. That sometimes that kind of skill set can be taken for granted, where you're going to just keep doing something and grind away at it and hope it works. But the fact that you all are being able to identify what's working, what's not working, that demonstrates the level of commitment, to me, the level of commitment and how you approach the importance of this work. I visited the campus in the past, and so I've seen the community outreach, the food bank, I think they had a clothing, and a kind of like a supplies
Yeah, we
closet
have
there.
a
Yeah.
clothing closet, yes.
So that's incredible considering the community that school serves. I think what I would really want to know, and if you have been getting any feedback from the parents, as they're knowing that they're gonna have to transition, maybe the younger kids that were gonna be there the following year, have you heard or have they communicated with you any kind of specific fears, concerns, things that you can relay to us so that we know how to direct the district and what the parents are saying that they need.
Absolutely. I do want to address your first comments, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I do want to give a shout out to my staff because it's been a tumultuous year. And, we've pulled together and we all have a job to do. And at the end of the day, it's supporting our kids and pushing our kids forward. And no one has lost sight of that. So I'm blessed to have the staff that I have to keep pushing through for our kids and our families. And I appreciate you recognizing that. As far as what families are going to need, there's a lot of concern over transportation because it's 1.5 miles before you can get bus service. Our students are TK through 3rd, so they're little. And walking 1.5 miles, parents are concerned about that. So I've had a couple of parents ask. I know that we had hoped to use our community school funds for a van to help with transportation, and that's a concern for parents. So I don't know what you can do with that, but that is a concern.
I don't know, what can we do with that? So, we'll make sure that we're
and
addressing that.
that plays a part in attendance. A lot of our families walk because it's a neighborhood school. So when it's raining, it's hard to get to school. And then when you have to go farther, it might just be easier to stay home. So if there's some sort of transportation resolution, I know that would be really supportive for our families.
Again, I can't thank you enough for everything you do.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You and your staff. I
Thank
don't
you.
want to leave them out. Thank you.
Principal Hawthorne and Ward Law, thank you.
Hello. Good evening, Superintendent Aurelio, President Amboy, Vice President Flores, Trustee Young, Trustee Fox, Trustee Hodges, and everyone else in the room. I am proud to present to you Ward Law Elementary. Ward Law strives to be a vibrant, community-centered learning environment where every student thrives. We provide equitable learning opportunities and a safe learning environment. We're committed to high-quality teaching that fosters academic excellence, character development, and lifelong learning. So at Ward Law, we have currently, actually, I think we're at 742. I put 738 on here, but I think as of today, we're at 742 and growing. We are a TK through 6 school. We have a very large staff. I have a vice principal to support me, along with my mental health support provider, 2 part-time teacher leaders, our CWA, and many, many others. We are 14.2% multilingual learners, 75.2 socioeconomically disadvantaged, and we work on our PBIS and MTSS frameworks. We have a lot of focus areas, but our focus areas have been an urgency in early literacy instruction. We are working on improving access and supports for our multilingual learners, increasing our school-wide rigor, improving our overall attendance, and improving safety and student engagement. Okay, one of our big wins, I put this first, is our community connection. This is my third year as the proud principal of Wardlaw, and we have seen a huge increase in family engagement. I hear it from parents all the time. Thank you so much for bringing this back to Wardlaw. And obviously, it was after COVID when I became vice principal and then principal. So it was kind of easy to start bringing events back to the school. But I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from families. They're super excited. We finally have our parent-teacher organization up and running again because it has not been running for many, many, many years. So I have wonderful parents who are excited that they got that going this year. We've seen an increase in new members of our school site council and our ELAC, which is great. I put monthly coffee with the principal. It hasn't been monthly, it's been about every other month. We've had about 5. We've had about 5 this year, so, and they're very successful. I have a lot of parents show up, they just come and chat, it's very casual, but I have a lot of success with that. We've had family STEAM night 3 times a year where I bring Brick Space in and they do a whole family STEAM night, which has been very, very fun. Our last one this year is May 19th, so please join us if anyone would like to come and check that out. It's from 5 to 6:30. And also, I didn't put this on my slide, but I added it in. We started a family dance. So last year, at the end of the school year, we had a family dance on a Friday night, the last Friday in June before we were out, and it was amazing. The parents, everyone, kids loved it. So we are doing it again this year. It's on Friday, June 5th at 6 p.m. If anybody would like to come, we have a DJ, and we're just gonna have a great time. So now for our other wins are academic growth. We have seen, since I've become principal, I have seen a steady growth across all areas. Of course, some are just staying stagnant, but we are seeing growth, even if it's 1 point, we're seeing growth. One thing I'm really proud of is on the California dashboard, our English learner progress is in the green. So 45.9% progressed at least one level, so that's wonderful. I do want to highlight our 5th grade in math. They grew from 20% met or exceeded standards on the fall NWEA to the winter NWEA, 35% met or exceeded. So, and I just know, and I can't remember who said they're gonna do another NWEA just to see. My 5th grade team is doing that as well because they want to see the growth, and I know it's going to be amazing. On this slide, if I just want to show the picture there, it says Star Books. So one of our 2nd grade teachers during Read Across America Day or week decorates her whole classroom and turns it into Star Books. And so it's kind of like a book tasting event. She goes all out, gets donations from Starbucks. All the kids have the whole room looks like it's Starbucks, and then each table is a different book tasting, it's a different genre. They just have so many super fun things that day. So I just wanted to show that and highlight that it may only be 4 percentage points, but 2nd grade grew from 28% met or exceeded to 32%. I know that's only 4%, but that's a lot. So, they weren't growing for a while, and so now they're seeing some growth, so that's awesome. And then another highlight in 6th grade, and I do want to say my 5th and 6th grade consistently have been just improving. So I'm really, really super proud of that. But 6th grade grew from 36% met or exceeded on reading NWEA to 45%. I don't think they're choosing to do the NWEA like 5th grade, but I'm sure if they did, we would see more growth as well. All right, so the area of growth that I wanted to work on is our attendance. Our average daily attendance is about 91.93. I think it's a little less. Our goal is always 95% or higher. But we have been slowly improving. The things we have been doing are track and intervene early, like our care team meetings that we have twice a month. We're continuing to strengthen our family engagement. We are a positive, welcoming environment, and we've been doing a lot of attendance challenges and spirit weeks. The kids love spirit weeks, so I think that's been definitely helping, and that's a picture of one of our spirit weeks. I can't remember, I think it was crazy, wear something crazy on your head day. All right, so our school climate is a program highlight. I just love walking through the doors of Wardlaw. I am just faced with happy kids, happy parents, and it's just a positive, nice place to be. Every month, Miss Banks, our vice principal, has PBIS assemblies where she's really creative and she does slideshows and gets the kids involved to review the rules. And she also asks, which I really love that she started this year, she asks the teachers to ask the students, what are you seeing on the playground or in the bathrooms or in the classrooms that is not good behavior, that you don't like? And so she's bringing those things to the assemblies and addressing them there with everyone. So I love that she is including student voice in that. And then on the lines of behavior, we have our positive incentives. So we give STAR tickets out if students are caught being safe, respectful, and kind, or responsible, excuse me. They get STAR tickets. They can purchase items in our student store with their STAR tickets. So the student store is every Thursday. And we have Academic Apple Awards, which you can see cutie patootie, little TK up there. He's showing his apple. It says, Shannon can identify all uppercase letters. So the teachers choose, they can give out apples Tuesdays and Thursdays. Students come to the office, they get a prize, and we put it on the board, the apple board in the office. And then we also started Whose Table is Top's lunchroom incentive. We stole it from Glen Cove, shout out Glen Cove, because we were just coming up, we were just really stuck with how are we going to get these kids to behave in the lunchroom. You know, everyone knows, if you've been in a school, lunchroom is the bane of your existence. However, this program has really taken off. So every table has red, yellow, or green cones. They switch the cones for the behavior. We have a big poster, we track it. The prizes, so far the prizes are the students can pick a theme that they want their lunch table decorated. So last week, one of our third grade classes had a whole Harry Potter themed lunch table. Another prize was that the staff, meaning me, my vice principal, other people, serve them their food in the lunchroom. So, you know, it's like we were trying to come up with fun things that we don't have to spend a lot of money on, and the kids love it. They just love getting recognized, we know that. Also, our Hey Tutor program has been very successful, especially in our early literacy. I have seen a lot of growth in our students, in our younger students because of our Hey Tutor program. Having our art and music program this year has been wonderful. Our wellness center and our Kamochis program continues to thrive. We also have a youth leadership team, which is this picture here, and they're mostly not smiling, I don't know why, but that's our youth leadership team, and they are awesome. I have my meetings with them at 1 on Wednesdays, and I don't really need to lead the meeting. I'm like, hey, what are we doing? What are we talking about? They're organizing the student store because they run the student store on Thursdays, so it's just awesome. And we also have a student safety patrol. In the morning, they open doors for students coming to school. And then I just put strong parent engagement because, like I said, that is a huge win for Wardlaw, is our strong family engagement. And that is it. Thank you.
Principal Hawthorne, thank
I
you so much.
knew it was going to be you, Glenn.
No, I know. No, it's when you're a parent of, when 3 of your kids have gone
Right.
through Wardlaw, and shout out to Julie in the back. I love that the programs that my children had is still there, and that the enthusiasm hasn't changed. And Wardlaw is such a strong family community, and watching it grow And it shows in the scores. I mean, from your fifth grade math, from 20% to 35, you know, that's a great win. And in WEA, you had 28 to 32. You know, so my first question I would have is, it's always, as a board, we're always striving, you know, what is the next level? So what do you see, what strategies do you think you would have in place for those test scores to be raised?
Strategies as in
As in-
what we're putting in place with the teachers, the classrooms. So just continuing on our strong academic push especially in early literacy. And I do have more teachers doing before and after school intervention for their students who need a little push. I've had more teachers not volunteer, excuse me, sign up to do before and after school intervention, so that has been great. As you know, Wardlaw is growing next year. I won't be there, but I have the utmost confidence in our teachers because our teachers are so amazing. That's why they're like, oh, it's only 4 points. But when you look at those 4 points and you look at students, that's a lot of students that are making growth. So they're very hard on themselves, but our staff is amazing. So although I will not be there, I know that they are going to continue with the same programs that we have put in place and have been so successful with. So at least I hope.
And you know, again, thank you for everything you've done for the last 3 years. And, you being there, you know, I was always skeptical when, you know, after Julie left. Just,
I know.
I'm sorry. It's just, I was like, oh my gosh, who's going to run Wardlaw? But again, your hard work is really,
Thank you.
has really shown. So again, thank you for all your work.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
And please thank the entire staff as well.
I will. Thank you. Thank you, board.
Lana Wiedemann, Principal Lewis. Go.
All right. Good evening. President Amboy, Vice President Flores, Trustee Young, Trustee Fox, Trustee Hodges, Superintendent Aurelio, and everyone in the room. Hello, my name is Kimberly Mitchell-Lewis, and I'm the proud principal of Solana Wiedemann Leadership Academy. Our mission is that we want our students to set academic and personal goals. We are wanting our students to dream big, set goals, and take action. Our vision is for our students to be actively working towards being our leaders of tomorrow. With our values, we want our students to utilize the 7 habits of highly effective people, which lead to an increase in student self-confidence, teamwork, initiative, responsibility, creativity, leadership, diversity, and awareness. And our goal is for us to increase our academics and also increase positive behavior, positive attendance, staff engagement, and parent involvement. Our student body, we have 855 students. We are a TK through 8th grade campus with 2 moderate special education classes and 1 ESN class. Our student culture, we utilize Leader in Me, which also encompasses PBIS and restorative practices. Our student leadership is strong. We utilize the habit number 8 this year of student voice, as was seen in our leadership day last week. And our average daily attendance is 92.5%. So for our attendance between 2021 to 2026, specifically looking at the green area, which is when Leader in Me was implemented at Solano, you'll see that there has been a decrease in our chronic absenteeism. The last band is for this year, and although it looks higher, we had 640 students in the purple area in the school, and then this year we have the 855, so there are more students accounted for in that last band. In our ELA band, we were in the red in 2024, and our distance from standard, as you can see, began to maintain. And then in 2025, we were in the orange band, and so we had a change level that increased. And although those numbers are large, as you can tell, they're negative, but they're going back towards positive. For our multilingual learners, 2023 were in the blue, so we were very excited that we had increased significantly. We then had a decline in 2024 and a maintain in 2025. So our focus areas, like our other campuses, we're utilizing UFly, and we are also utilizing our adopted curriculum in TK through 8th grade. We are utilizing interventions at our school, so we are fortunate to have funding where we have small group instruction. We utilize Hey Tutor. We have 3 retired teachers who work at the school. We have a content intervention teacher, and let's see, those are our support staff. We have for transitional kindergarten through 8th grade, we're utilizing our writing structures, race strategy. We have writing prompts, Leader in Me writing prompts twice a week that are TK through 8, and we're excited because regardless of the grade level, they're able to answer the questions. And then our designated ELD time. For math, we have seen an increase the last 2 years. Although we're still in the orange, again, for the distance from standard, you can see that the negative numbers are actually going towards positive. For math, science, and history, we are using structured student talk. We are making sure that we're using problem-solving strategies and critical thinking. And then we're using a lot of cross-grade level learning experiences, which are really cool for the younger kids to see the older kids as role models, and then for the older kids to support the younger kids where they are. And then we're really proud about being inclusive with our special education classes. And so you would see throughout our campus a mix of all students. For a supportive school environment, we implement school-wide PBIS strategies, restorative justice, as I said, and then habit 7, which is sharpen the saw. And we, on our campus, we have 3 sharpen the saw rooms. Sharpen the saw, no real saws involved. I know that's sort of scary when you hear that. What happens is that these are rooms where students are able to go for 10 minutes, no penalty, to find balance. And so we have one in the office, one by our play structure, and then another one in the office, 2 which have support from a staff member or ASPs. We are excited that our students have physical education. So we have in our middle school, our students all receive a PE class and electives. Our VAPA art and music is strong. We have a band class, and we have music support class for 5th graders. And then we have our VAPA art teacher. I'm gonna say that one in a minute. Not yet. Sports, we are excited to utilize our expanded learning sports programs. And right now, I can't even tell you the number of soccer teams that we have. But we are going into soccer, and the kids are very excited. We've been excited for all of the programs that have happened thus far. Now I'll talk about it. In our expanded learning program and with our clubs, one of the highlights that we have had and was seen at our leadership day was we have student DJs. And it's really cool, actually. And we are so excited because on Friday they were the DJs for Dan Minnie's Dance. So they were really excited about that, did a great job. Anyone interested, let us know. They're that good. They could do the prom. All right, so our wins. Not sure how the high school might feel about that, but that's okay. For our wins, our second grade fluency, we saw an increase from fall to winter. We are continuing to see growth. One of the big things that we do at Solano Wiedemann is track our wildly important goals. So we utilize tracking data in all the areas, celebrating growth, and then ensuring we're putting things in place to support if students need additional support. Our community partnerships, very proud that our community has stepped up and shown out as seen at our Leadership Day. We had second place in March Madness attendance. And this last one is really interesting because our school day and our expanded learning program are in alignment with each other in that voice and choice is utilized in the expanded learning program. So there's a continuation from the school day into the expanded learning program. Okay, I gotta go back. Okay, so additional wins, have to read these. So on Leadership Day, we had 2,000 attendees, 1,159 meals served. We had 30 family tours from Dan Minnie. And then again, of course, our DJs and all of this fills my bucket. 855 kids just showing their worth and potential is something that you definitely get up in the morning and go to work for. So, and go with pride, so. Great job, Solano. Yeah, it was awesome. So our areas of growth, we want to increase the number of parents who are in our parent groups. So although we had so many people at our event, we want to make sure that that we're all at our community partnership meetings. And so really looking at strategies to bring families in for celebrations and things of that nature during those times. And then our academics and attendance that we want to continue to grow. And what we're finding is by tracking the data, you see increase, right? Because it's been brought to the attention of the teacher or the student that there's a need and also a celebration when it's there. So definitely our highlight is our Leader in Me implementation at our school site. We are really excited that the whole staff went through a training called Teacher Believes in Me under Leader in Me. And with that program, we really look at the mental health aspect for students and staff and making sure that we have a plan in place to help all in that area. And then I believe lastly is our 8th grade Leader in Me Legacy Project. That's a new level to our leadership binders that all 8th graders have to present at the end of the school year. And just the idea that it's definitely in alignment with our Portrait of a Graduate. And so we work really hard to ensure that anything that we're implementing with Leader in Me is in alignment with our district expectations. And that's Solano in a small nutshell. I could talk all night. Who's the lucky person?
Well, I think it's Mr. Hodges.
Okay.
So we gotta see if he's on. Do we have him?
Thank you, Principal Lewis.
Thank you.
It was a great presentation. The first thing I want to do is apologize for missing Leadership Day. It sounds like I missed a really great event. It also sounds like you and your staff are putting in a lot of hard work on that campus. I need to make an intent to come out and visit and spend some more time there. One of the things you mentioned that I'm curious about, well, I'm going to start with this first. The Leader in Me program, you may not have enough time to talk about it tonight, so that's something we could talk about later, but I'm interested in it because mental health or therapy is my field in my field of work. So I'd like to learn more about the Leader in Me program. But I think the thing that got my most attention was the structured student talk. Can you describe that to me a little more detailed? What does that mean?
So I would say that when we're talking about structured student talk, when a student is giving an answer, it's really specific to what they're being asked, that they're going through a thought process to ensure that what they're saying is answering the question. And then with that, that they're able to have that communication with another student next to them or with the teacher in order to talk through a problem or a question.
Okay.
And I
Okay,
will
great.
say you did miss a good time, but we have one every year, so we hope to see you next year.
Yes, ma'am. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Trustee Young?
If you ever want to experience community, it was amazing. That experience at Solano Wiedemann that day just sent chills because we haven't had that type of community involvement. I mean, I couldn't find any place to park, and that's a problem for me sometimes. But I thought about it, I said, oh, good, then I'm just gonna have to walk. These parents are important, they need to be here first. But just to see that they came out to support their students, I've had that feeling with also Hogan, when they did their community thing, and Vallejo High and Bethel, today I had that feeling. The community is supportive of our schools. We just have to include them and make sure that they're included. Make sure that they know what's going on, because they will support you 100%. I know I'm part of the community. I was born and raised here. Every time there was something at school, my mother came, my father came to see if I was on point. And these parents that are coming up want to know what's going on within the school community. So thank you so much.
Thank you for being
for
there.
being all that.
Thank you. And our community is very key. So we had a lot of community support, haircuts, library, jobs. There are at least 16 entities in the community who came out to support, so.
Yeah, there was not just that, it was people that were able to give Hinton, local. I mean, he always is there for us. So, those are outlets that we have to tap into and make sure that everybody knows that they're available to us, Thank you for also, for the first time I met your father. And I met your sister, and I met your daughter, re-met your daughter.
Yes.
Because the last time I saw her, she was elementary.
Mm-hmm.
It was a nice reunion. Thank you.
So I have to celebrate my family. My family has shown up to every single leadership day since I was at Pennycook. And so this is my shout out to my mom and my dad who show up, my sisters show up, my children everybody shows up in my family. And so that's a testament to the leader in me, to their belief in me, and so I have to definitely
That's that
give it to them.
leadership, that educational leadership.
Both parents, educators.
That's right.
Thank you.
Principal Lubin, Vallejo Charter
Hey.
School.
All right, good evening, President Amboy, Vice President Flores, Trustee Young, Trustee Fox, Superintendent Aurelio, Cabinet, and my peers. My name is Janice Lubin, and I'm the proud principal at Vallejo Charter. Tonight, I will highlight key focus areas student achievement data, program highlights, and the progress that we're making towards becoming a high-performing student-centered school. Okay, so let's get reacquainted with Vallejo Charter. We are our district's only dependent charter, and we're lottery-based. Our new location represents a fresh start, designed to support strong instruction and a positive culture. We've built a blended staff. We have staff and students. Most of our staff are from 3 different schools and 3 different programs. So Vallejo Charter, which is a expeditionary learning program. We have teachers from Loma Vista, Environmental Sciences. We also have teachers from Mare Island, who are Health and Fitness Academy. So we have all those teachers and the students that have come together as a blended family. As a result, we have had to redefine our relationship with expeditionary learning. So we are bringing all of the teachers and the students together for everyone to learn about what expeditionary learning is about. And so this year we are emphasizing crew only, student voice, and meaningful learning experiences. Also, we have a Walk to Read program, and that program we developed last year. And it targets early literacy for kindergarten through 2nd grade, and it improves our student outcomes. Also now we are focusing on STEAM. So even though Vallejo Charter is known for the arts, we want to bookend it with science, technology, engineering, and put math on the back of the arts to strengthen our program. We have a strong, unique culture rooted in crew, PBIS, PACS, and Mindful Life that supports both academic and social emotional growth. So let's take a look at our school's data. Currently, our enrollment is at 485. Our daily attendance rate is 91.39%, and that demonstrates consistent student engagement, and our parents, even though we've had problems with the bridge, they are still bringing their students to school, which is really, really good. Our multilingual learners are 24.3% of our student population. That's 118 students. And our students with IEPs are 14.5% of our student population, which is 72 students. 89.7% of our scholars, which is 462 out of 485, would meet the national threshold for free and reduced lunch. So that highlights the importance of providing equitable access and resources for our students. This year we've had, we've had 39 discipline events, and we've had 20 suspensions to date, but we still focus on restorative practices. Our focus areas this year have been academic excellence. We have worked very hard to strengthen early literacy in grades K through 3. We are also a U-Fly school. When we were on the other campus, we were a 2nd year of implementation. And so this year at Mare Island, many of those teachers had not had that training, so it is a first for them, and also for the teachers who are coming from Loma Vista. We're working to improve our CASP scores by preparing early, practicing, targeting areas of deficiency, and having data chats. This year, that is going to be a little different. We're looking at our data from a holistic point of view in terms of where we're starting, because we're looking at data from 2 different schools that have come together, okay? Our climate and culture, we are building a cohesive, positive culture using PBIS and PACS, and we are strengthening our crew practices through EL education. We have improved our safety on our campus. We have additional supervision. We also did the addition of supervision during lunch through Alivo. And also we have increased attendance and engagement through incentives. We have a student store. We have Scholar Dollars. We have our student store open up every other Thursday for our students. As mentioned before, we have expanded STEAM We want to make sure that we are preparing our scholars to be high school, college, and career ready. Some of our wins this year is we have a vibrant culture of teaching and learning, which is visible in all classrooms and our hallways. Our teachers receive increased instructional support and coaching through CORE, our core consultant, and our teacher leader. We have strong implementation of the district's adopted curriculum, which is different this year for Vallejo Charter. Vallejo Charter had traditionally used the EL curriculum for ELA, but we did not want to see any learning loss with teachers coming from different programs, so we wanted to make sure that we use the district's curriculum for ELA. Again, we have additional safety measures. And we have expanded learning. We have many activities in expanded learning, and we also have recess clubs to engage our students during recess, which includes chess and robotics. We have learning opportunities outside of school. We offer field trips. In our budget, we had budgeted for expeditionary learning, but we turned those into field trips and additional learning opportunities for our students. We partnered with Solano Library at the beginning of the school year when we did not have a library, which we do have now. We partnered with Club Stride, and our newest partner is with Lego. In terms of our academic wins, we are making steady progress. Our students grew from fall to winter at an above average rate, 51 percentile, showing instructional impact. So even though there were some differences in the instructional methods, we did make impact, and we are improving achievement. Our performance increased from the 38th to 39th percentile from fall to winter. While it's not a lot, it does show that our instructional methods are taking traction, and our teachers and our scholars are improving. Also, we're showing that there's strong growth for many students. About 39% of our students show above average growth. And also, we're seeing that still 27% of our students are still far below grade level, indicating that we still have a strong need for targeted support. In terms of math, we still have academic wins there, and we're making steady growth in math. Our students are progressing at a near average growth rate of 47 percentile from fall to winter. Our achievement increased from the 28th to the 30th percentile from fall to winter, and 35% of our students are meeting or exceeding expected growth, which we're really happy about. Again, we still do have 35% of our students who are far below grade level, indicating that we still need to make sure that we're implementing enough interventions to make sure that they are making a marked improvement. Our areas of growth. We have made a marked improvement on the California dashboard. When I stood in front of you last year, we talked about Vallejo Charter being a poor performing charter. And we received a 2-year extension on our petition as a result. But after that, when the results came out, we saw that there was improvement on the dashboard. So if you take a look, we have improved in every single area, and we're not in red in any of the areas on the dashboard right now. Some of our program highlights, we have Komochis, as does most of the elementary schools. We have Mindful Life. We actually have a representative that pushes into the classrooms. He's there on site, and he's providing SEL lessons to every student at our campus. We also partner with Club Stride. They work with our leadership students at lunchtime. They come on campus. They're doing podcasting, and they're documenting student experiences on campus. We do have visual and performing arts, which is one of the key programs that Vallejo Charter had for a long time before everybody else got it. But Vallejo Charter had visual and performing arts. Also, we have leadership for our 6th through 8th grade, and our 6th through 8th grade students are learning to be leaders on our campus. They meet with our academic support provider. They're engaged in projects in the school. We also have cultural celebrations. We had a National Hispanic Heritage Month celebration with a Black History Month celebration, and then through our arts, we had a winter concert. So we want to make sure that we're providing our students with a vibrant cultural experience at Vallejo Charter. So we want to make sure that we continue to bring that program into our students. Also, if you visit Vallejo Charter, you'll see that we have learning walls. And so not only are we teaching our students in the classroom, we want to make sure that other scholars, if they're in the hallway, they're also learning about what the scholars in that particular classroom, what they're learning as well. So everyone is sharing what they're learning with the entire school. Our program highlights is expeditionary learning. This year, again, we focused on crew, which is in every single classroom. Every single teacher engages in crew every single day. And in crew, teachers and scholars, they build relationships with each other, belonging, and have student voice. Of course, we are a project-based learning school. Our students engage in real-world, meaningful learning. We do have student-led conferences, which teaches our scholars to be leaders of their own learning. We do that in November before the winter break. And also, we do that at the end of the school year. Also, we have passages, which is similar to what they do at Solano Wiedemann in terms of the Leader in Me program. Our students with passages, they present to the community and to their parents and to the teachers what their accomplishments have been thus far in their academic journey. This year, we are expanding that to our 5th grade as well. Also, every single grade level will be engaged in a community service project. Again, our program highlight is our Walk to Read program. That's where our students are receiving support at their grade level. We do have Hey Tutors on campus. Also, we have instructional aides in our lower classrooms. There's an instructional aide in every classroom from K to 2nd. It's similar to the WIN model at other schools. Our students walk to read at their level. We want to make sure that all of our students are reading before 3rd grade. Our spotlight. So I guess you haven't heard about it, but we had the vice president of LEGO Education at Vallejo Charter last week. He came out to visit one of our classrooms that they're piloting a STEAM program. STEAM program with the LEGO robots. They're programming AI robots. And the vice president of LEGO came to look at what the students were doing, to showcase what they're learning, and so that they can bring that programming to other districts and other schools around the country. We want to expand our relationship with LEGO, and we want to bring that programming also to our 6th grade class. So we are very excited about that. And that's it. Trustee Flores.
Yes. Thank you again for your presentation.
Yes.
Just some of the stuff that I was looking at, and obviously from personal experience there as well. The expeditionary learning model, that was something that when I first visited, I was invited to visit Vallejo Charter when it was over on Tennessee Street a couple years back, and they discussed it with me, and I always found that a real nice way to approach education. So I'm glad to see that it's there. My son's partaking in that, and he did his first presentation of his report card this last year, and he was so nervous. So seeing it in action is a real cool thing. You know, the other thing that you mentioned that was just something that I guess maybe I didn't think about initially, was as you were saying, the weaving of all these different models of education. You seem to be doing a great job, you know, so I look forward to seeing once I think all the kinks have been kind of moved out and it's a little smoother and it'll be interesting to see, you know, where this goes and how high you can take it. So kudos to you and your staff for that. And I also enjoy the fact that you're providing a lot of different options and opportunities for the kids. You know, I heard sports, podcasting, you know, STEAMs. So thank you.
Good. So even though we have teachers and students from all of these different programs, what they have brought is experiences that are the same, you know, good teaching practices. And that's what we want to build upon as we move forward with our project-based learning. We want to draw upon all of the experiences from the teachers that we did get from all of those other programs, even though they were from different programs and we had a different curriculum. We think that we can build something really unique and something really, really positive for Vallejo.
I would maybe
An option for everyone else.
I would add that that you're building.
We're building,
Yeah,
yes,
so
yes.
great job.
Thank you.
I didn't get my introduction yet.
Principal Jefferson, Hogan Middle School.
President Amboy, Vice President Flores, my mentor, Trustee Young, and Trustee Fox, and our awesome superintendent. Good evening. I am here, Camille Jefferson, the proud principal of Hogan Middle School. And Camille Jefferson is going to honor our 10-minute time limit. How about that? Next slide, please. We're going to talk about who Hogan is, who we are. Hogan has a very strong vision for Vallejo and Vallejo's kids, and we have just a few of our goals. We can't tell it all. We're just going to hit some of the highlights. So who are we? Right now, our numbers are down. We're 840 students. Thank you. Next slide. Currently we have 211 sixth graders, 330 seventh graders, 300 eighth graders. And we are full to the brim on Hogan High School campus. And we mean to make a difference for these students. So which leads us next to our vision. Next slide is, I'm a 10-year high school educator. And so when I had the opportunity to go to Hogan, my vision is we need to better prepare our middle schoolers for high school. High schools are the pride of every community. And so studies show that students drop out in the highest rates in the 10th grade. Everybody shout 10th grade. We can't wait for 9th grade to save them. We got to save them in middle school. So our vision is we are changing the trajectory of our students and better preparing them for high school at Hogan Middle School, at Hogan High School Preparation Academy. Next slide. And how are we doing that? First, when I came to Hogan, we had already started a collaboration with the awesome and amazing veteran administrator, Rosalind Hines. We had a partnership already with California Ed Partnership. It was a three-year partnership. It ended 2 years ago. But what we have institutionalized at Hogan and continued doing is identifying what is called the hot list. Our kids that are not on track. Our kids that are getting D's and F's in math and English. So to this day, we have continued 2 years past that collaboration. We are still tracking every single grading period, all the D's and F's in English and math. So I'm very happy to report with our 8th graders, as we're getting ready to move them out to high school, we started Q1 with 76 of them with F's. Second quarter, we dropped down to 74 of them with F's. In the last grading period for third quarter, we've dropped down even more to 61 of them with Fs. So we're continuing to put interventions and plans in place to get them ready for high school. We've had, this is just our 8th grade data, 28 SSTs, and we now have 53 more academic meetings, 53 more students that we need to touch before the end of the school year so we can boost our promotion numbers. So we are strengthening the 8th grade to 9th grade transition by monitoring grades. That's number one in preparing them for high school. Our next slide, we have moved to an AVID focus at Hogan Middle School. So we are now, last year we had 2 sections of AVID. We started with 1 section, then we moved to 2 sections of AVID. We had enough requests for 3 sections this year, but we weren't able to do that. And so we'll see what our master schedule looks like. We want to continue boosting AVID on our campus, preparing students for college and career, building their academic skills, leadership abilities, and their commitment to learning. One thing that we embedded, we did institute one AVID strategy school-wide. So we brought back the good old planner for all Hogan students. Planners improve student achievement, planners improve organization, planners improve time management. So all of our teachers bought in because we put the responsibility on the teachers that you are giving your students every single period what they need to write in their planner so they're prepared for the next year. That's another strategy preparing for high school. If you'll see on our slide, strategy number 3 is we are being more focused on that graduate profile and all of the elements on it. So in every Hogan classroom, you will see that poster connected to the lesson. What is the lesson? What is the lesson objective? And what are you, teacher, intentionally, which element are you connecting your lesson to? So when you walk into a Hogan classroom, you'll see their connection to the graduate profile. And then finally on Hogan's campus, we are so proud. If you go back the slide back, you'll see our College and Career Center. Back one more time, I'm so sorry. There you go. That is our College and Career Center. We're so proud to have built that center. We have a veteran high school counselor on our campus, Mrs. Rhea King, who is making a huge difference with our students. So now we can go back, I'm sorry. Planning for high school in the College Career Center, career exploration, academic readiness, and all of our 8th graders are leaving Hogan with profiles in California colleges EDU. We're not waiting for them to get to high school to get that profile. They're getting that profile in middle school and start getting ready for college and career. So our vision is Hogan will be a high school preparation academy. And then I just want to hit 3 goals for Hogan. Of course, we want to look at a little data. How are we doing? How are we doing? How are we doing? Attendance. We're 2 slides over now. Thank you. You're doing an awesome job, Rochelle. Awesome job, sis. Our daily attendance is 92.07%. Come on, Spartans. They're coming to school, and we're proud of that because our numbers have increased. So we're really excited about that. Moving to the next slide. I took this slide out. I'm just going to tell the truth. I'm like, take that slide out. We did such a wonderful job last year cutting our suspensions way down in a partnership that we did with Solano County, implementing alternative means of correction, new strategies that brought our suspensions. These are suspension days from down to 125. This year, we have a slogan at Hogan called the Hogan Way. The Hogan Way is the only way. So we got some new students in there. And when we really broke down month by month, we have 40 suspensions in September alone with students that hadn't yet learned the Hogan Way. So can we tell you why they were suspended? Spitting. They came in spitting on each other. It was a real problem, you all. But we had assemblies. We had classes. Listen, that's assault, Trustee Fox. You can't spit in my face. So we had assemblies, we had classes, we had lessons. We brought those. We eliminated our surge of spitting and those 40 suspensions. And there's some other reasons why our numbers are a little bit higher this year, but we've identified them and we're going to do much better next year. So we're still proud of what we're doing in the area of keeping kids on campus so they're not losing instruction. And finally, we want to improve our foundational math and English scores. We're so excited. Look at all those greens. Look at where we were in winter, and we need to do a little work with our sixth graders. Our sixth graders dropped a little in math. Our seventh graders improved in math. Our eighth graders improved in math. In reading, our sixth graders exceeded our 5% target. Our seventh graders improved in reading. Our eighth graders improved in reading. And look at our IM students getting ready for high school. 79. They also exceeded our 5% target. And so that's NWEA. And then let's look at CASP, the next slide. In CASP, we still have a lot of work to get out of that orange area and get our kids up into the green. But when we dissected that, we also saw a steady growth. So our eighth graders in ELA are improving from sixth grade to eighth grade. We've got some work to do in math on the CASP, but if our NWEA is any indicator of what we're going to do much better than what we did in CASP on last year. So what we can say is we're excited that the scores that they're coming in the sixth grade, they're leaving with higher scores when they leave in the eighth grade. And that is under 10 minutes, everyone. Because there's so much more I could say that I won't say, but I just let the pictures speak for themselves. Our amazing fine arts program, our championship boys and girls basketball team, our clubs, there's so much more, but Principal Jefferson is going to stay under 10 minutes.
Principal Jefferson.
Yes, sir. Are you a Spartan, Trustee Amboy?
I
President
am
Amboy?
not.
Oh,
Although
who's a Spartan? Flores is a Spartan, yes.
So is Hodges.
And Hodges is a Spartan. Dr. Young is a Spartan too. Oh, okay. Oh, Miss Thomas is a Spartan. Sister Rhonda, I'm sorry.
my children are Spartans. So.
Okay, yes.
So my eldest was a Spartan when then Vice President Lubin was the vice principal then.
Yes, okay.
Then my other two children was when Ms. Hines was the principal.
Was the principal, yes.
So, but again, I do thank you for your presentation, and it's exciting to see your vision that you want Hogan to be that high school,
Preparation Academy. Yes, sir.
I'd like to see, that transition as well for the fifth graders moving to Hogan as well.
Yes.
Because the transition begins, it should be carried throughout. And I think you're doing an amazing job. And it's a very difficult age for our scholars at that time.
Yes.
And I think there's a lot of tremendous growth, and I'm definitely looking forward to all your hard work and all the scores and the data coming up for the years to come.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. And that was only one question.
Okay, awesome.
But don't walk away, because I see that
Okay,
Dr. Young.
yes, sir.
Dr. Young's breaking
Dr.
our
Young.
protocol, but that's okay.
I'm so excited.
Thank you. I am too.
My mentoring has paid off.
Yes, it has.
And I was a Spartan because I was a vice principal when it was a high school.
Yes.
Yeah, so, yeah. Really? Ooh.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Principal Marshall and Vallejo, the Vallejo High School.
The Vallejo High School. Principal Jefferson brought the energy, so I feel like I have to match the energy. Got to match. All right, so good evening, President Amboy, Vice President Flores, Trustee Dr. Young, Trustee Fox, Trustee Dean Hodges, and Superintendent Aurelio. I am Bianca Marshall. I'm the proud principal of the Vallejo High School. I am a Apache. I'm an Apache. So I have the Apache spirit and the Red Hawk pride. So here we go. Vallejo High School, let's get into it. So welcome to Vallejo High School, where our goal is to take our baby birds who come to the nest as ninth graders and graduate them in the 12th grade as full-grown Red Hawks ready to take flight. That is our mission, our goal, preparation from 9th through 12th grade. Oh, I could click. I have the clicker, huh? There we go. You had the clicker the whole time. All right. So a little bit about Vallejo High and the makeup of Vallejo High School. Vallejo High currently serves 1,046 students. 59% of those students are Hispanic, 23% are Black or African American, 9.5% Filipino, and 4% white. Our English language learner distribution, we have about 25% of students who identify as English language learners. 16.6% of our students have IEPs, and 94% of our students qualify as low income. So we definitely have a campus that has huge diversity, but huge socioeconomic needs. And if I remember correctly, according to the official qualifier of what it means to be unhoused, about 65% of our kiddos would qualify as being unhoused because they're doubled up, living with family members, things of that nature. So coming in as the principal this school year, it was really my goal to focus on our SIPSA goal number 2, a safe and supportive learning environment, and the LCAP goal of safe, supportive, and engaging learning environments for students and staff, and increase the number of students who are graduating college and career ready. A little bit of pride led that because I don't like keyboard warriors on Facebook and social media. And thank you, Dr. Young, for slapping my hand back in 2023 when I commented on something on Facebook, and she called me and she said, "Baby girl, take it down. You cannot comment on social media." So it is my goal to prove those keyboard warriors wrong. Vallejo High is a safe school. We are supportive, and we do have an awesome learning environment where we are graduating kids college and career ready. So some of the actions we've taken this school year towards SIPSA goal number 2. The admin team has focused on reducing suspensions for certain subgroups. Last school year, our focus was on reducing suspensions for African American students. This school year, we're really focused on reducing suspensions for our Hispanic students, namely, or mostly, our newcomer students. We did find that we kind of are battling with some cultural differences on our campus. One example, we had a group of students back in September at break. They all walked to the front of the school, pulled out Flume vapes, and started smoking. And so we had to pull in some staff, and we had a conversation with them, and they're like, "This is what we do in our country on breaks. Like, we go and we take a smoke break." So there were some things we were contending with there. We created greater partnerships with our families. We did host a coffee with the principal that was really well received. We invite our families onto the campus. I tell parents, I will almost never deny you to come onto campus and go to your child's classroom. Check into the front office, I will print their schedule, and I will walk you to their class. And we've had parents who actually beat their students to class. Crazy, right? We have done some intentional relationship building with our students. We really try to focus in on our ninth graders because, like Principal Camille Jefferson said, the eighth graders kind of come in a little hot. And so the ninth graders come onto campus, and we have to mold them into the Vallejo Highway. And we call that speech, "Welcome to Vallejo High." We have continued our work with Pedro Gonzalez and Nuevos Caminos. He's been really instrumental in helping us reduce our suspension rates. We've increased referrals to mental health services, really taking the time to look and see why students are exhibiting the behaviors that they are, and a lot of times there are some mental health needs there. We've increased referrals to drug and alcohol and tobacco counseling services. We have an awesome drug and alcohol counselor on our campus. Her name's Alexa. And then also admin cell phone access for student and family communication. District pays our cell phone bill for the district-issued phones, and it's been really instrumental in helping us communicate with families, communicate with students. Students may not come to us on campus and tell us like, hey, such says she want to fight me, but they'll shoot a text message to us really quick, or they'll shoot a screenshot of something on social media, and we're able to address the problem and be a lot more proactive than reactive. In addition, we have increased our tutoring, our after-school tutoring, so we offer tutoring 4 days a week, so every day except for Wednesdays. And we also this school year created a grade change camp for 9th graders who received a D or an F in Integrated Math 1 first semester. That came about through our work with Cal Ed Partners, where we looked at, hey, let's look at our kids who are on track for graduation, who are on track meeting A through G, and we realized that IM1 is kind of that gatekeeper. So if a student gets a D or an F in IM1, which most 9th graders take, then they're more likely to be credit deficient further through high school. So we created a grade change camp for students who received a D or an F in IM1. We continued focus on grading for equity. That was really big. We started implementing that about 3 years ago. And so we're continuing the focus and expanding grading for equity in all classrooms. Admin walkthroughs with a focus on our VCUSD instructional priorities. And we've continued our work with LTL 360, Core, and Shannon Sinclair. She's been really great with working with our teachers on ELD strategies. We also have started our relaunch of PBIS. The kids have been begging for it. You wouldn't think that high schoolers wanted to have a student store to buy snacks, but they do. Care team meetings, thank you to Assistant Superintendent Heather Tapasio for giving us a tighter care team structure for this school year. It's been really, really effective, and it it was able to build up more buy-in from folks on the care team. We've had more focused field trips. We have been taking our kiddos on college visits, visits to different organizations, to career fields. Lori Brown, our engineering lead, has been taking students to Loma Vista Farm, and our construction students have been doing some work, kind of looking at what needs to be done there, and they're utilizing their skills to help build and revitalize Loma Vista Farm. And then also our counselors are continuing to create post-secondary plans with all students. It's been a little stressful for them, but they're getting it done. And they recognize the need for all students to have a plan post-secondary. So whether it's college, career, or going into a trade school, they're working on those plans with the students. So some of our wins. So as I spoke about earlier, we offered the grade change camp. We had 88 students, 88 ninth graders, who received a D or an F in Integrated Math 1. I had the goal of getting at least 25% of those students to accept the grade change camp, which was run 2 days a week after school for 6 weeks leading up to spring break. 20 students enrolled, and 50% of those students earned a grade change of a grade higher than a D. And the 50% who didn't earn a grade change, it was due to attendance. Grading for Equity is a continuing initiative at Vallejo High School, and this school year marks the 3rd year of implementation. So we've made some improvement in reading. We've been making constant improvement in math, but I really wanted to see some big wins in reading. We started the school year letting the students know that we were going to do an admin-led field trip for students who met certain criteria. So they had to meet attendance criteria, behavior criteria, and also they had to make growth on NWEA. So we had 4 focus groups. For NWEA, our English language learners, our students with IEPs, our Black, African American students, and our Hispanic students. And on this slide, you'll see that our English language learners made great improvement in meeting or exceeding standards in reading from the fall to the winter. And our students with IEPs made growth as well. So that's a big, big win. And I really attribute our students with IEPs making growth. This school year at Vallejo High, we have implemented a co-teaching model, and that is where we have one SPED teacher co-teaching with an English teacher and a SPED teacher who's co-teaching a math class with a math teacher. And that has been really, really instrumental in pushing our students with IEPs along, especially with the new California law that our students who are in SDC classes now qualify to get a high school diploma. So it's been really, really instrumental in pushing growth in reading. Our Black and African American students have experienced growth in reading as well, and our Hispanic and Latino students have made great growth. We've really pushed ELD strategies in classrooms. This school year we did some cohorting with our English language learners, and put tutors from Hey Tutor, Cal Soap in different classrooms to really help our English language learners, push them along. Another win is we have worked tirelessly to reduce suspensions. We are using more alternative means of correction. So in the blue, you see the 23-24 school year, we had 81 suspensions, and a lot of them were for fighting or having marijuana on campus. In 24-25, we were able to reduce that down to 77. And so far this school year, we're, according to this chart, at 46. We've had a couple suspensions since this, but it's still below 77. So we're making growth. We're reducing our suspensions, and as of right now, we're at about a 4.77% suspension rate, which the goal has been to stay below 6%. How many more weeks of school we got left? Spring is springing. Spring is sprung, so, you know, we're trying to work with the kids. Another Vallejo High win is we have increased attendance. It looks kind of even, pretty even there, but when you look at the numbers and the data, we've actually increased our daily attendance by 1% every year, and this school year, I'm proud to say that we are at 90.36% daily attendance, which is really exciting. Previously, we have been in the 80s, we've been in the 70s, and so to be over 90%, I am truly, truly proud. More Vallejo High wins. This school year, we had 79 students submit a total of 279 individual applications to California State Universities. We had 34 students submit a total of 138 individual UC campus applications for a total of 417 UC and CSU applications that were submitted. I was able to this school year purchase CSU vouchers, which enabled students who did not qualify for the fee waiver according to the CSU general application to be able to apply to at least one college. So if a student filled it out and saw that they didn't qualify for the fee waiver, we gave them the CSU coupon code and they were able to apply to at least one college. Yeah. So some of our areas of growth. PBIS implementation, we are a California State Gold PBIS school, and so it is my goal to get us to platinum. And with that, we need to continue to implement PBIS on our campus consistently. Cell phone policy needs to be implemented consistently. We know it goes into state law July 1, and yonder pouch me, please. I don't want my teachers to have to come to school and go to war over a cell phone. that's not a fight I want them to have to fight. I want them to fight the fight inside of the classroom with academics and really pushing rigor. I don't want a cell phone to be the thing that's keeping them from doing a great job in the classroom. I'd love to implement a pregnant and parenting teen program on our campus. We have a number of girls who have kids. We have an 18-year-old student right now who has a 3-year-old, and she's not making it to school. But if we had the program on our campus, it would enable those girls to make it to school more consistently and also be worry-free knowing that their child is on the same campus as them and near them. We're going to continue or need to continue building positive connections to school for students. A part of that, we have been bringing in 8th graders onto our campus doing campus tours. Shout out to Janice Lubin. We were able to host 8th graders from Mare Island onto our campus, and it was an awesome day for them to see all that Vallejo High offers and to help them build the connection to the campus. I always tell kids, we need you to have a positive connection to this campus. Back in my day, and I know they hate hearing it, but we always ask people, you a Spartan? You an Apache? What are you? You know what I mean? So we want kids to have that positive connection to the school. A part of that is building up the school spirit, but also giving them things that they want and want to see on our campus. We will continue to offer targeted field trips to our students, really listening to them, seeing where they want to go, what do they want to see. Even if it's taking them to the aquarium, a lot of our kids have never left Vallejo and don't even know what an aquarium is. So really taking them on field trips that expose them to the world. And also staff and student relationship building. It's one thing for students to build relationships with our admin team. It's another thing for them to build relationships with the teachers. And I can remember being a student at Vallejo High, and I had connections to teachers. And that was what brought me to campus every day. I was happy to see them every day. And we want our Red Hawks to be excited to come to campus and excited to see staff members. So some of our program highlights, improve school climate and culture. My focus this school year was not only to improve the school climate and culture for the students, but in thinking VCUSD first, I want to think about our teachers as well. So we've really worked hard in improving the school climate and culture of our teaching staff. We threw a holiday party at Bambino's. That's some of the staff who attended and stayed for the picture. Staff, we did karaoke, we had fun, we sat, we ate with each other, we joked around, and it was just really nice to get the teachers off campus and do something really, really fun together. An upcoming event we have with our staff, and President Amboy, you'll like this, we are attending a San Francisco Giants game together on May 8th. So that's gonna be really, really fun, but my focus really was to improve the climate for not just the students, but the teachers as well. I want the teachers to come to work excited and happy and liking each other. We have improved our attendance. We have increased relevant field trips to our students. We have hosted events that celebrate the many cultures on campus. We hosted Banda Night back in November. We also partnered with AAPN for the Black History Month program. There has been an increase in teacher and staff buy-in. I have seen more teachers at PD on Wednesdays, and they're not putting absences in front line to not come to PD on Wednesdays. So that is very, very exciting because we have some teachers who were notorious for not showing up to PD on Wednesdays. And then in addition, I have an awesome, awesome admin team. We're all women. We're all Black women, and that's something to be celebrated there. And they have really aligned with my vision for the school. They push me as much as I push them. And we have a great relationship, and our relationship as a team has been reflected in how we work with our teachers, and our teachers are able to look at us and see an admin team that works together, and we're not disjointed, but we're all on the same page. And that is it for Vallejo High. Oh, Dr. Young, okay. All right, I'm ready.
I get to ask you the question.
Yes, ma'am.
The grade change, camp, they got Ds and Fs, right?
First semester, yes.
Semester. Did the teacher change too when they go to the grade change camp?
So I had teachers, math teachers, volunteer to run the grade change camp. So one of the teachers I had two teachers run it. One of the teachers who ran the grade change camp actually teaches IM1. The other teacher, she teaches IM3 and statistics. And so there was this split, kind of sort of, with who taught during the grade change camp, but I made sure that the students who received an F from the teacher who teaches IM1 did not have him for the grade change camp.
Key answer, thank you very much. Because that's what I found in summer school. I found out that the kid is very bright, but when he left out of the regular high school and came into summer school, and you put him with a team that cared and showed him the way, they got A's and B's. And I couldn't understand what it was, but I continued to do it so the kid could prosper.
Yeah, and we saw that with summer school this last summer. Our Vallejo High students who actually had Jamie Kearns as their summer school teacher did better than with the teacher that they had during the regular school year.
That's the truth. You're being very transparent about that.
Yes.
I have a history of that. I can remember some of the teachers that I didn't invite back to summer school. But anyway, let's move on. Do you still have Upward Bound?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
So we have UCSF Upward Bound, and we also have UC Davis.
And is that still a viable program?
It is. They set up we have them in two different classrooms. So room 501 and room 485. And that's a place where you often see students going in at lunchtime, kind of picking up resources, talking, getting help with essays for college applications or help filling out college applications. They also do field trips with the students throughout the school year as well.
Because I know the connection with that, if they stay connected with them, it's automatically they have an in at a UC campus.
Yes.
Okay. The next thing, the next thing, call me when you do the Warriors or the 49ers, okay?
Okay.
It was great.
You don't want to go to a Giants game
I
with
can't
us?
sit up there that long, okay?
Yeah. We're in club seats, though, and it's fireworks night, the night that we're going, so we're very strategic in
It's cold out
the
there.
date that we chose. It is cold. It's right on the water.
Yeah,
It's
I
very
know.
cold. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really got your energy.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy for you that you have embraced Vallejo High School.
Yes.
The other thing, your academies. How many academies or pathways?
So right now we have 4 pathways and 1 true academy.
And what are they?
The pathways are hospitality, medical careers, construction and trades. What's the other one? Oh, no, I said medical careers. Medical careers, construction and trade, hospitality, and multimedia, excuse
Okay.
me. And then the academy is engineering.
Okay, your constructional trades, weren't they at one time commissioned to do the hot dog stand?
Yes. At Corbus Field?
Corbus Field.
Okay, so that was a project that Lori Brown created for the class where they had to create so we have this, I don't even know what to call it, little trailer out there at Corbus Field that's often used for the concession stand. She gave them a project to remodel that concession stand. So students remodeled or built models of the concession stand. We're not yet in the part of the process where they
Modeling,
actually are building it out.
So
Yes.
is that gonna take money, or do you need sponsors?
So it'll take money and sponsors, of course. We love sponsors.
Okay.
But yes, definitely for materials. Last school year, our students partnered with the Vallejo Project and built a shed, and it was really awesome to see happen. So we definitely want more folks to come to us for more projects and also sponsor our students in carrying out these projects. It's one thing to do it as a toothpick figure. It's another thing to really see it come to fruition and come to life and be life-sized and utilized on a, regular
Well,
basis.
Get me some information because I am going to be attending a reception of construction, local unions and stuff next week. I need to make sure that we're on the books.
Okay, will do.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Principal Marshall. So closing us out this evening is Principal Bell Faceja, High School.
Thank you for saving the best for last. And thank you to everyone that stayed. I know it's really late. Thank you to Superintendent Aurelio and the Cabinet, President Amboy, Vice President Flores, Trustee Young, and Trustee Fox. And we're missing you, Trustee Hodges, even though you're virtual right now. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm Rashina Bell, by the way. I'm the proud principal and alumni of Jesse Bethel High School. I was a part of the first group of students that helped open Jesse Bethel High School. And so I take this role as something that I'm filled with very pride and that I owe our community all that it has provided to me. And so I'm excited that this is my first year at Bethel and excited to go into next year with more knowledge about the needs of our community and the strengths of our community. So at Bethel, we are prideful about preparing our students to be the best citizens that they can be by exposing them to college experiences, seeing themselves on campus build self-efficacy, as well as providing them with mentorship opportunities on how to navigate life, how to build positive relationships, and of course, our CTE pathways that we offer. There's one photo here of our NJROTC program. And here is a snapshot of our race and ethnicity data just to show everyone the extreme diversity of the population we serve. And we're gonna zoom into our focal student demographics. As I go through the data, you're gonna see that we're gonna continue to highlight our focal students. These are students that have demonstrated a gap in academic performance, and so we want to pay particular attention to how they are performing throughout the year to make sure that we're meeting their needs. This is our CASP data. It's great to see the growth that we've had over the past 2 years, but also I like to zoom into our NWEA data because it is showing us a representation of what we're doing currently this year and whether or not our initiatives are having a positive impact on student outcomes. And you'll see in our NWEA data in both reading and math that we are seeing growth and it is trending higher than the CASP results that we had last year. However, we are seeing that our English language learners are still performing far below their counterparts, and so we're going to continue to focus on supporting our English language learners, especially in the area of math. And so it's not something we're proud of and something we want to continue to find out ways and interventions to provide our scholars and so that they can reach their full potential. This is data that I wanted to show. It is the percent of our students not deficient in credits towards graduation, which of course is extremely beneficial when we're talking about high school. If you'll see throughout the year, we want to see positive growth in meeting graduation credit requirements. And if we look all the way to the right, 91.3% of our 12th grade students are not deficient in credits towards graduation. And according to our counselors, it's higher than that because we have implemented what we're calling JAG plans to ensure that every student knows where they are and has a clear plan to make any type of credit recoveries or anything that they need to do to reach the goal that they're striving for. So whether that's a UC, four-year college, all students have had one-on-one meetings with counselors to go through a plan and look at their credits and also make a plan to recover any deficiencies. These are our attendance rates. We're really proud that in March, we did win first in terms of our March Madness attendance competition. However, we are our own competition, and so our goal is to be 93%. We're not there yet, and we're gonna continue to implement initiatives to help push our students to that 93% positive attendance goal. Our suspension data has significantly declined from last year. So you'll see the black line is our most recent data in terms of April, and the numbers that you see are the percentage rate of total suspensions. And for our focal student subgroups, that's the percentage of students going towards the overall suspension rate. So we're really proud of this data. Our focus areas this year has been ensuring our teachers are prepared to provide high quality instruction, specifically around our strategic focus area, which is to ensure our students are engaging in structured student talk on tasks that promote strategic thinking, so that depth of knowledge level 3 or higher. We have I'll talk about it actually in our wins. Also, restorative and responsive practices, which we think is really what is in decreasing those suspension rates that we see. And then the implementation of equitable opportunities, not only academically, but also social emotionally, and ensuring that we're getting ahead and understanding which students need a little bit more support and making sure that we're providing that support. So some of our wins, I just have to start off with our strong staff commitment. This is the first time I worked at a school where so many staff members actually have their students enrolled at our school. Trustee Amboy has children at our school site. And then there's also several staff members that they attended Jessie Bethel themselves, as well as, or they're members of the Vallejo community. But no matter who it is, all of our staff members are really coming forward with a lot of heart and passion and really believe in our students and want them to thrive and succeed. Also, our existing partnerships. Today, we had an amazing opportunity to partner with Fighting Back Youth and Elevate Youth Solano, who's also partnered with Kaiser and a couple of other community organizations to bring an entrepreneurship summit where 130 Jessie Bethel students had the opportunity to engage in learning about what it means to be an entrepreneur, developing a business plan to address a social justice or social issue that they see in our school communities or in the local community. And so it was amazing to see their presentations at the end where they actually developed business plans in groups. It was also open to other Solano County youth. And so there were some students from Vallejo High, there were some students from Fairfield High, and students were working with students they've never met before and developed plans that they were able to pitch to the presenters today. And it was just a joy to see that type of opportunity brought to our students because of the partnership that we have. We also partner with IYT, which is Improve Your Tomorrow, which supports our African American male students in seeing themselves in college, having that mentorship, and also tutoring opportunities after school, as well as Ina, who runs a Pretty in Pink program that has mentorship. And speakers come to speak to our young women, and also leads a restorative justice program at our school where students are able to facilitate restorative conversations and decrease conflict among their peers. We're also really proud of our increase percent of students on track for graduation, and again, taking credit to our care team for really being intentional this year with early interventions, early warning signs, and really talking about students individually and what they need as individuals, and then our JAG plans. So again, just bringing up our JAG plans, all of our counselors met with every student to talk about their progress, to look at their grades, talk to students about what their goals are, and really outlined what they need to do in high school to attain those goals. And if they're behind in high school credits, how are you going to recover that? Are you going to enroll in a college class after school? Are you going to enroll in tutoring after school? Are you going to retake the class? They develop thorough plans with all of the students. And then the strong establishments of our program. So we have good bones. We have a great foundation. We have a multimedia pathway. We have a biomedical pathway that's been recently certificated that we're really proud of. And we also have, so we have multimedia, Law Academy, Biomed, NJORLTC. And then our instructional leadership teams work this year. Our teachers have really, really grown and shown up as leaders. We've been able to take the work that we do with L2L 360 and ensure that the work is not only happening when we meet quarterly, but that work is continued every single week in our staff meetings, which our teachers are planning and facilitating, which creates more buy-in from our other teachers, which leads to my next thing, which is that we were able to observe a growth in our depth of knowledge levels that we observed when we did our admin walkthroughs. So in the cycle 2, which was from October 29th to January the 20th, we were unable to observe any depth of knowledge in 57% of the classrooms. But in the third cycle, that decreased by 27%. And so still not where we want it to be, but that's still a huge jump. And if you also see the level of depth of knowledge increases, so there was 24% of the classrooms that we observed had evidence of depth of knowledge level 3. And our teachers were able to recently engage in a student work analysis protocol where they brought in student work that provided evidence of depth of knowledge, where they used structured student talk in those lessons. And we actually analyzed the level of depth of knowledge. And our teachers are excited to calibrate on depth of knowledge levels to make sure that we're all on the same page of what is actually DOK 1, 2, and 3. And so we're excited to continue digging into that work. That's, again, facilitated by our ILT. Areas of growth, we want to increase equitable access to academic opportunities. And so I spoke a little bit about dual enrollment a moment ago and our CTE pathways, but who's getting access to those programs are very important to us. How are we ensuring that we are making sure that our underrepresented students have access and knowledge on how to be in those programs? And then support for our English language learners, like I spoke about before. We want to continue to keep them on the forefront of our mind and in all of the plans that we make instructionally and social emotionally. How are we providing bilingual tutors? How are we providing other interventions that will support their growth and development? And then also improving systems to monitor and support students with high needs. And so our suspension rates have gone down, but we also have a lot of students that have actually left Bethel for whatever reason. And so that's street data that we want to take into account. Why are those students leaving? What's happening to them? Whether it's not they're going to independent studies, they're switching to leadership, or having to transfer to John Finney, or just honestly not coming to school and then being dropped. Like, what's happening with those students and how do we catch them earlier on to provide more support? And then instructional consistency and rigor. Yes, we're seeing growth in our DOK levels, but we're also noticing and naming that that's happening in some departments and happening less in other departments. And so how are we continuing to ensure consistency so that we see that increase in rigor in all of our classrooms? And then finally, program coordination. So I said that we have lots of different programs in our community. We have great bones, but sometimes they're working against each other. A student can't be in an AP class because they're in the Law Academy, or vice versa. And so how do we make sure all of our programs are coordinating and working in a way that supports all of our students, no matter what they want to access, that they're able to access it. And there's no competing factors like, oh, I have an Avid field trip today, but that means I'm going to miss my AP class. And so how do we address that? And then also how do we ensure that there's leaders in all of those department spaces that are really holding our vision and able to make sure that the plans of those departments are all aligned with our vision? Some highlights. So for me, when I thought about program highlights, I thought about things that might be happening in our community that are really, really great that we want to expand on. And so dual enrollment is happening, and all students we all know that high school students can dually enroll in college, and middle school students too, in college and high school. But how can we potentially adopt a model where the college courses are offered on campus? And so we want to start looking into that for 0 and 7th period next year. But long term, we want to see how that can fit into periods 1 through 6. If you're taking ethnic studies, why not it be a college level course, ethnic studies? Why not us have that opportunity? It's going to save our students time in college, money, and it also builds that self-efficacy. If I can complete a college course in high school, then I can be successful in college. We also want to diversify our CTE pathways and expand them. And so we have our biomed pathway that's been certificated. We also have a sports meds pathway that's not certificated. And our sports med students, you can see them sometimes working with Dr. Paula, our athletic doctor on the football field, providing hands-on support. And so we want to like expand that program and potentially bring a healthcare pathway expansion to Jessie Bethel. And then we also want to incorporate trade school pathways. I just heard Principal Marshall talking about some of the trade school pathways that they have. And so we have a lot of students that are interested in things that they need trade school for to earn that certificate. And so how do we expand that and provide that opportunity at Jessie Bethel? Finally, our community partnerships. So I spoke a little bit about what we're receiving for our community, but we're, again, developing citizens. And we want our students to continue to give back to the community as well. One, we have our football and cheerleaders who go to World Law, I think like one Thursday a month since December, and they read to our World Law students. And we believe that that's also instilling in our elementary kids. I can't wait to go to Jessie Bethel. It's one way to keep our kids in Vallejo, and it's also by us partnering with the community, it's showing the community the positive things that are happening in our school, the positive things that all of our students are doing. It's showcasing that. And so just like we're receiving for our community, how are we also giving back to our community and also showing our students that as a citizen, that's what you're supposed to be doing. And then finally, student engagement. Again, I think every principal has said it, but when you have a positive school culture and when students love coming to school, they want to come to the sporting events, they want to be engaged, then they're going to come to school and they're going to attend school, and it builds more positive relationships. When students can see staff as humans and vice versa, that builds that positive relationships, which then we all know pours back into the classroom. And it ensures that students feel safe learning in the classroom because they have that trust with their relationship. And so overall, we want to continue to build student engagement. And I think that's all. Did I meet the 10 minutes, Camille? Camille, did I make your mark? Okay, I'm sorry. I meant to set my timer. Thank you.
That was wonderful, and you stay within a time frame.
Thank you. Dr. Young's time frame wins, Camille.
Yeah, right. Right. I had the opportunity today to be part of the Solano Youth Advocate and Social Entrepreneur Summit at Bethel. That was a rewarding visit. I really did enjoy that visit because it just secured the idea that we have students that want to be somebody, and they just need the tool to be somebody and the encouragement to be somebody. And this setting was giving them an okay and saying, okay, you can do it. This is what you have to do. It was well attended. I didn't get there at the beginning, because I am retired. I don't, but I got there.
Sleep in.
I got there. But we had lunch, and it was wonderful. I think Fighting Back Partnership was a responsibility.
Yes.
I think so, because I signed a check because I am the president. Anyway, yeah, and they enjoyed it. It was a really good lunch, and they were still communicating with each other. These are kids that didn't even know each other. They were still communicating. So, I really appreciate that. How many academies do you have up and working?
Right.
Functioning?
We have 4.
And they are?
They are the multimedia. We have our Law Academy. We have our Biomed, and we have NJOROTC. We also have Sports Med, we also have Sports Med. So 5, but Sports Med's not certificated.
And how are those academies being serviced? How are the kids being put into that? Are they put into that when they're in ninth grade coming in, or how do they get in there?
Yeah, so we do a survey in the ninth grade to determine their interest, of which, if they're interested in a CTE, then they're automatically assigned. Luckily, we haven't had the issue where any of the CTE pathways are overcrowded or too full. And so fortunately, we've been able to grant access to any student that expresses interest in a specific pathway. So there's surveys. So our counselors went to Hogan and all the other schools that have eighth graders, and they talked to them about our different pathways, and then did a survey for them where the students can express what they're interested in.
So, prime opportunity to expose these eighth graders is a day with an academy.
Yes, that's actually something that we've talked about doing.
with an
Unfortunately,
academy.
it hasn't come to fruition this day.
Let those babies come over and experience that.
Absolutely.
And
We want to
then
do
they
a
will
shadow
have
day.
a better idea of what they want to do
Hmm.
at that particular point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yep. At the end of the conference, there just wasn't a conference. At the end of the conference, they were given certificates. They were given certificates of completion and a gift card that will be mailed to each student attendee within the 5 business days for our appreciation for sitting there.
Yes, and they also did wonderful presentations.
Yes,
I was very taken
it's
aback.
just, you have to give them some type of incentive to be there. And that was a wonderful group. So, hopefully their gift cards will be helpful to them. I hope they don't, I hope they do something constructive with it. But anyway, the certificate was to identify that we appreciate what they did. Okay, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for being with VCUSD. Everybody that presented, go out to you because I'm retired.
Thank you. I just want to celebrate one last thing that I forgot to say. 161 of our 12th graders have been accepted to four-year colleges. So that's exciting. Thank you.
How many historically black colleges?
9.
Get back to me.
I know. We will.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
I just want to thank all our site administrators. Wonderful job this evening. Great energy. I think, Camille, you win the energy award, though. So Ken, step it up next time. Great job this evening. I know it's late, and you'll have to facilitate some things tomorrow. So, learning walks, exactly. So should we move to the next item?
Before we move to the next item, Principal Bell, I do want to thank you for allowing me to be on campus today, last week and this week. Again, teaching our kids our traditional Filipino folk dances. But it has also come to my attention that they are interested in forming a dance group. And I said to them, I'd be more than happy to move forward with that and teach them as well.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. I'll definitely check in with you about that and with the students so we can get that going.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone. Okay.
Leave yet. We're almost done.
Item 9.
So, just announcement of upcoming meetings. Tomorrow, we have our 2+2 at 4:30 at Vallejo City Hall. We do have a special governing board meeting. This is a closed session only meeting on Tuesday, April 28th. We have a special governing board meeting on Monday, May 11th. That'll be here in the governing boardroom, time to be determined. And then our next regular board meeting is May 13th at 6 p.m. here in the boardroom.
And that brings us to item 10, adjournment. Thank you for all attending. This meeting is now adjourned at 9:16 p.m.
Sure, you can just unplug the